Back in Winnipeg, we're in a weather delay. A look at the biggest comebacks in CFL history. Topical because of what happened a couple of weeks ago at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. You see the Eskimos and the Blue Bombers share that distinction, the 27-point comeback, but it was 25 points. The Hamilton Tiger Cats were down against the Eskimos in Week 5, and they rallied to win the game. It was 31-6 at one point. They won it 37-21. Back with Jock and Milt. And let's talk more about that Hamilton comeback, because it was Jeremiah Masoli at quarterback as they still await the return of Zach Collaros. And Masoli had been struggling, but in that game, he broke, ironically, Jason Moss's record of 22 straight completions. It ended at 20. Remarkable second half run. That performance bought Kent Austin and the Ticats more time in the recovery of Zach Collaros, that they don't want to rush him back.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I had a chance to talk to Zach Collaros, and certainly he feels like he's been ready for 3 weeks. He's been practicing full out for 3 weeks, so he feels his knee's better. And certainly watching him out there, I can see why he's saying that. He's not just saying that for the sake of it. He looks perfectly fine. And he is dying to be out there. But in talking to Kent Austin, it's simply a question of the medical staff saying, no, we want him to have 1 more week. And I tell you, that's how it works. In pro sports, doctors have the power. And I think if you're a doctor, the last thing you want to do is say, yeah, he can go out there. He goes out there and re-injures himself, and that's probably the last time you will give advice to a team. So you're going to be overly cautious, and you can afford to be overly cautious when you got this guy playing as well as he does. So I don't think it bought him more time. I mean, obviously, if the Hamilton was in a deep slide, that might be a little bit more aggressive. But, you know, Zach Collaros is the guy. There's no question that Zach's the guy. And when the doctors say Zach can play, Zach will play, no matter how well Masoli was playing, which is extremely well at the moment.
I disagree, Jock. I think if Jeremiah was still struggling, his team was losing, Zach would be playing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have took him off the 6th game. They would have kept him on there. But the fact that he was able to bring that team back and allowed them to win that game, that gave them some more time. They won that game. They had a bye week. And I guarantee you in their mind, they're thinking, well, we're playing against a weaker Winnipeg team. We can afford to rest him 1 more week. He's our future. We want to plan to have this guy for the next 5 to 10 years be our quarterback, so we can afford to rest him now because we're winning games. And that's the main reason. Otherwise, they keep him on the 6th game.
We've seen a couple of versions of Jeremiah Masoli, though. I remember in Week 1 asking you, what does he have to do? This is Week 5 against Edmonton, his numbers in the first half, and just dramatically different in the second half when he went 23-25. So that was his best game. He had a good game, though, getting back to Week 1 in Toronto.
Right.
When you had said, in order for Hamilton to win that game, he can't make mistakes, he can't give it away. He managed the game very well. He played a very good game, actually. But we've seen, including a game and a loss at home against Winnipeg, where he did not play well at all. They turned over the ball a lot. So I think you're still within your right to ask that question. Which is the real Jeremiah Masoli?
Well, I don't know. You know, that first game he was great, and the last half of their last game he was great, but in between there he was hot garbage. You know, he couldn't do anything. So I don't think we've seen the real Jeremiah Masoli. I think he needs to use his legs a little bit more. He's trying to be that typical drop-back quarterback, and that's not his MO. His MO, he's a strong-willed quarterback. He can get down the field, throw strong arm, and use his legs. So I think once he starts using his legs a little bit more, that will really open up his game, John.
And I got a theory, guys, and that's got everything to do with Kent Austin and what he does with quarterbacks. I mean, he is so structured. And I go back to Kerry Joseph. When Kent Austin came into the league as a quarterback coach, he took Kerry Joseph, a guy who was a safety in the NFL, and turned him into an MOP caliber Grey Cup winning quarterback. And Kent Austin does that through system. There's no just roll him out there and just let you read on the fly and wing it. It is a very structured system where you have to go through your reads, and Kent Austin will know the second he is watching the sidelines or goes back to the tape whether or not you've gone through the progression he wants you to. Did you go from the lower quadrant on the weak side to the middle of the field to deep right? He will see if you've gone through your progression. Here's Masoli coming in, a relatively young quarterback who's now expected to buy into that system. Look, Zach Collaros does that, and that type of structure does that better than any other quarterback in the league. Very, very quarterback. Masoli's been trying to play catch-up. He has to think constantly out there. He just can't go out there and wing it. I think what we're seeing is the maximizing of a potential of a quarterback who was never meant to be a starting quarterback in the league. Remember, he was a third-string guy, if that. Last year, this is a guy who has been brought up to be this style of quarterback, this productive, And I give all the credit to Ken Austin because that is how he teaches. But you're not going to get perfection because Mazzoli is not Zach Collaros. Zach Collaros is the highest paid quarterback in the CFL because the Hamilton Tiger Cats believe he is the best player in the CFL. That is high praise indeed considering who's running that football team.
How tough do you think it is on Jeremiah when he knows no matter how well he plays, when it's time for Zach to come back, Zach is coming back. He can go out there and break Mac Dunnigan's single-game passing record. Regardless how he plays, he's going to be on the bench when Zach comes back.
But I remember Zach Collaros knowing no matter how well he played in Toronto, a guy by the name of Ricky Ray was going to come back.
True.
It did get some interest. So I think that performance in Toronto for Collaros got interest in other teams. We'll have lots more to talk about with the guys before this game. This game is in a weather delay. A severe thunderstorm in Winnipeg is expected. Dark clouds, the skies above in Winnipeg on a Wednesday night. The CFL on TSN. Back in Winnipeg, they have just announced, the public address announcer has just announced that this game between the Blue Bombers and Ticats is being delayed 60 to 90 minutes because of a severe weather warning. Threats of a severe thunderstorm coming. There have been a few drops of rain, nothing significant yet, but this game is a long ways from getting underway. With more, let's head upstairs to Rod and Matt, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Rod. As we see both sides meet in the tunnel downstairs, talk this over. And the wait is on. We've had this already this year in Winnipeg. Early in the season, we had a lightning delay and took a while, but eventually got the game going. And it's that type of year, a lot of heat in the area and the possibility of lightning. And they are actually doing the coin toss underneath.
And the Bombers logo will be tails. Okay? Tails. You're gonna call them, you've called tails? This is a tails.
Oh, you nice.
We'll defer. You want to defer? We'll take it. You want football? Which way are you going to kick? We're the same way as the field, okay? Okay?
Under the heading, something we have never seen before. A coin toss underneath in the tunnel. They will not be playing the game down there, by the way. We will have the game being played on the field. At some point tonight, you heard Rod Smith talk about a 60 to 90-minute delay. We're with game supervisor Ken Lazarick, who's with us. Maybe you can update us. This is something that is obviously cautionary with lightning in the area, and we've already had one of these this season.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's been that quite a year where things have been happening. But, you know, obviously it comes down to safety. And with the lightning strikes, I'm by no means an expert, but we've been in constant communication with Guy Ash, who's our head meteorologist. And lightning can strike from 15 kilometers away. So the guide that we use is when it is 20 kilometers away, it gives us time to move the players and the fans off before anything serious can happen. And that's what happened. It was 20 kilometers away. It was coming. It's coming slow. The problem is the system is coming, then it stops, and it grows bigger. And then it comes again, and it gets big, it stops, and it gets bigger. And it's at a point now where it's because of its slow motion, sort of like when Matt was on the field. You know, when he got a bit older, he was slowing down a bit.
But lightning did strike when Matt was on the field with his arm, of course.
Oh, no question.
Yes, there
What is? I know that this is a little disconcerting for the football players, and trying to get lathered again and get your mind right to go out there and go to battle. What's it like for the officials? Is it similar?
Oh, you know, much so. You know, you get worked up. You have a schedule that you follow. Everything falls into place, and all of a sudden, boom, things change. You know, fortunately, we're really fortunate. Andre Prue's an excellent official, and he's a very good leader. And like you said, how often have you seen a coin toss halfway between two benches in a tunnel? And you won't. But it throws everybody off, but we're all professionals, and we'll just adapt to the situation as it comes.
I don't think the crowd was too happy when they heard that announcement, but they understand that safety does have to come first.
Safety, yeah, absolutely. When you think about it, I mean, a football game, everybody wants to see a game, and I'm sure, Matt, you played in games like this that have been delayed or had something around it, but the bottom line is, I mean, getting the fans in safety, and this rain's going to come at any moment, and there will be lightning in the area. If anything unforeseen should happen, then we would all rue that as well. Exactly.
You know, precaution is the key word here. We don't want to take a chance. I was talking with Kelly Keith, who's the security guy here, and he was sitting down with the representative from Manitoba Hydro, who was saying that the risk of this strike coming here isn't very high, and he was showing me what they did to it, but there's still a risk. And because there's a risk, we're not.
Joining us, we'll get more updates. We'll see as the night goes on. Here we are in Winnipeg, just like Game 1 in a thunderstorm and lightning delay. But hey, we will have football at some point tonight as we send it back to Rod.
You know, I just, when I was walking in here, the latest word is that at 9 o'clock Winnipeg time, Kevin McDonald and Glenn Johnson and the commissioner will sit down at 9 o'clock. And at that time, we'll see where we are, and they'll make a decision of what's going to happen from there.
Okay, good point. And we will continue to update you. Thanks to Ken Lazarick for joining us as we send it back to Rod and the gang.
Okay, a first for me, Rod. Matty, I cannot recall a severe weather warning delaying the start of a game. Yes, in the middle of it. We've seen it here in Winnipeg, but look who's joined us. This is a real first for me. Andy Fantuz of the Ticats here. If this was post-game, this is fine. We'll talk about the game you had, everything else. I don't remember ever having a player on before kickoff, but we got a lot of time to talk. It's 60 to 90 minutes. You didn't hear what they were talking about before. The CFL is meeting at 9 o'clock, so I believe in a little over an hour to discuss really the fate of the evening and perhaps whether or not you guys are even going to get a game in. What does this do to a player when you are geared to prepare for kickoff at a certain time? All of a sudden, you have time. By the way, I hope you have permission to be out here talking to us from Ken.
It's too late now.
It's Andy Fantuz. He gets himself permission.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well, that's the thing. We're just trying to stay loose anyway. So we actually just did the coin toss in the hallway with the captains, and I was walking by and saw you guys out here, and hopefully Ken doesn't mind too much, but we're just staying loose and it's fun. And
he's in his office with the TV on right now.
Yeah. So what is this like for the guys, Andy? I mean, this is. I played a long time. So did you, Milt. Yeah. I had a couple delays during the game. I never had to wait an hour before. You guys have already done your warm up. Right. You should be on the field right now. Where's your mind at?
I've never done it like this before the game either, and it's disappointing. You feel fresh, you feel ready to rock, and especially it's a 7:30 game, which is 8:30 for us at home. It's already been a long day, so we're going to start at 10 o'clock or something home, like our regular time, and that's a late night. So the key for us is just to stay loose and try to not get tight in there and keep mentally ready.
Well, I'm used to players smelling so bad. He has on some special soap right now. That's my question. What soap do you have on? You smell like my wife or something, man. What's going on here?
Oh, that's just my musk, man. My wife will tell you. That's my musk.
Hey, and here we are gathered. I'm sure you followed this guy in his great career, and this is his night. He's up in the Ring of Honor already, and everything is being delayed. But you remember watching this guy, Milt Stegall, much?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember playing against him too. And when we first came in, I saw your family down here and with the kids, and it's just, it's amazing to be sitting here next to all you guys. Like, you're our heroes growing up, and got a chance to play against you, and now I am. You guys are calling the game with us playing. It's an honor, and I'm just trying to be like you.
He's
really
smiling in my face now, but he's a big reason why I don't have a Grey Cup, because of his performance in that 2007 Grey Cup game.
Of course.
That was his coming out party that game.
Well, go ahead.
Well, Andy, I was just going to say that's what you had to look forward to. I mean, when the kind of career you're having, you have an opportunity to be recognized the way Milt is, and there's so many players who finish. They walk away from the game and they're forgotten and they're gone, and no one ever sees them again. I mean, we're talking the vast majority of players, that is their situation. And I think it's great when they find ways to bring people back, to make sure people don't forget them. You're having that kind of career, and you can look at Milt and you can say, yeah, you know what, that can be me. I mean, this is the kind of career that I want to build around. And you've got a similar deal going. I talked earlier this evening about Milt's consistency, and that's been your hallmark throughout your career, Andy, is that you are incredibly consistent. You don't have a bad game, you don't have a bad year, and Milt was the same way. And so I hope one day you'll be sitting here with a mic and people will be recognizing and honoring you.
And actually, your only nemesis over the last 2 years have been injuries. You've been healthy this year, and when you're on the field and you're healthy, you're one of the most dominant receivers.
Well, that's quite an honor. Thank you. But I'm like I said, I just try to not let the emotions get too high or too low. I try to lead by example on and off the field, and and I try to make the plays when they come to me, and not press too much, and groups. It's great people to look up to and to model my game after.
That's not what I heard. They said every time you're in the huddle, you're screaming, if I don't get the ball, it's going to be a problem. Throw 83 the ball.
If we could just have you for one more question now. We just saw from your last game and the big comeback in Edmonton. I mean, we'd never seen anything like that in a long time. 25 points down. Talk about emotional highs and lows. The low followed by the high. What has that done for the team, knowing you could come back like that in Edmonton in the second half?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable character turnaround for us. Win to just know that we're never out of it, and once we started making a few plays, we just kept building off that. The offense, the defense, the special teams. Momentum is just executing play after play. So once we got the momentum, the defense is just relentless. And Mazzoli was just passing it around. It was a lot of credit to the offensive line just to keep him on his feet, make the reads easy. And when we do that, we have the playmakers to be really successful.
Yeah. Andy Fantuz, what's that? Important right now? Okay.
Yeah,
hey, listen, you want to keep it loose, Andy? That's a good place to do it. Hey, Simone's keeping it loose, too. Andy Fantuz, thanks very much for this.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. That's fantastic.
I hope you guys get to play tonight. As it stands, we are in a long delay. At least another 4 Winnipeg, the CFL on TSN. It is Milt Stegall night here in Winnipeg. No time for football yet. This is actually on the Jumbotron here at Investors Group Field. All the tweets coming in honoring 85 as he goes into the Ring of Honor in a night where there should be football but because of the weather, it is all in delay right now. Let's go back to Rod and Matt, guys.
All right, thank you so much. We know how this affects the home city, the home team. How does it affect the visitors? We saw Andy Fantuz visiting as well with our panel. Here's president of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Scott Mitchell. Not exactly the way you planned your trip.
No, definitely unusual. As you said, I don't think I've ever seen a season before. We've had, 4 delays now. So this is very unique. And as you know, Rod, the weather out here in Winnipeg can be tempestuous at the best of times. So got to be safe and get the fans taken care of and the teams taken care of.
Matt, you made a good point while we were in commercial break.
Yeah, just talking and listening to what the possibilities may be. If they do cancel this game, what are the ramifications for a team that is on the road, and now he's looking at all kinds of expenditures and certainly downtime and
rescheduling,
legalities and rescheduling, and it becomes a bit of a nightmare for you.
Absolutely. I mean, I know obviously safety comes first tonight for sure, but I think you're obviously going to make every possible attempt to get the game in here. I'm not sure there's a curfew out here at Investors Group Field in the community, but I would think we're going to do everything possible to get this one in. It sounds like it's going to be as little as another 45 minutes, maybe hour and 15. So hopefully it passes through and we get this in.
You guys are on the road for a bit here, and you've had so much success early on at Tim Hortons Field, and you get a sense of the vibe here in Winnipeg with their stadium and the same kind of vibe that you have at your stadium right now. You'd obviously like to get a few more wins back there, but maybe you can talk a little bit about what these new stadiums have meant to the league.
Oh, I think it's unbelievable. I mean, when you go to Vancouver and BC Place, which is just a phenomenal, gorgeous facility, and obviously Edmonton has got $100 million plus new field house, which is a terrific facility for them. Calgary's got some work to do, but no doubt the new facility's on its way down there sooner than later. This place is, I think, a beautiful facility. I mean, when you walk up to this facility, it's kind of awe-inspiring. It's gorgeous to look at, and then obviously you've got our great facility in Hamilton and BMO Field now for the Argos, which is a great place to play. Took my kids down as a neutral observer the other night to watch the Argos Alouettes game.
Did you wear your Tiger Kit colors?
We sure did, absolutely. And we had a beer vendor from Hamilton. It worked out okay.
Scott, keep going down the road and go to Ottawa and talk about TD Place and what they've done out there over the last 2 years.
I'll tell you what, I know there was an article today talking about the best fan experience in the league. We're a little biased, but it is a terrific place to watch a game. They've done an unbelievable job up there. They've got a great ownership group, great management team on both sides of the business and the football side. And you can't not have a great time up in Ottawa going to those games right now. And like you guys, I get to travel all over the world, get into sporting events, and I'll be honest with you, across the country right now, you're going to have as good a sporting experience as anywhere in the world going to a CFL game.
You got that right. Thanks for your time. Hopefully we'll have a great sporting experience at some point tonight, and we'll see you down the road.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it.
Scott Mitchell, president of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, as we are in a holding pattern here, in a weather pattern, fierce one in Winnipeg. Back to Rod.
Thank you, Rod. Yes, very fierce. We've just seen some big bolts of lightning, too, in the sky, and the rain is starting to come down. And Milt Stegall night It's stormy.
So if we don't play this game tonight, do I come back for it?
Is there a
game?
second Milt Stiegel night?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they just take you down off the Ring of Honor, and maybe they go back to it, or maybe they don't. Milt.
Put it this way: there'll be no storyline to a football game if they can't play. The story of the night is 85. Maybe that's the way it should be, right?
That's the way it should be. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
I can deal with that.
I got a couple of tweets saying, shouldn't the panel be taking cover now as well?
Where?
I think it's a pretty interesting question.
You know what? This is the way we roll, right?
This is the way we roll.
We are sitting.
That's not what you were saying a moment
We are
ago.
sitting under
We're
a
scared.
metal frame tent, and none of us are flinching. The lightning bolts are raining down on us, and we're sitting here talking about Milt Stiegel because
Yeah.
Milt Stiegel is what matters right now.
That's how much we
And
love
if
Milt.
I need to risk my life to honor this man, I will do so.
You know when they asked you for that extra signature the other day? This is the reason why.
This is it?
There's no suing. Even though you're a lawyer, you can't sue.
As a waiver. Well, hey,
quite
fans are handing out T-shirts, Milt Stiegel T-shirts out of the stands here. Milt Stiegel 7 guarantees.
7 guarantees.
Death, taxes, trouble. Trouble?
Trouble.
There's no trouble. And Milt Stiegel is always going to be on time, true. He's always going to be in tip-top shape, true. Milt Stiegel is always going to run out of bounds, true. It doesn't say that. It says it's always going to look good, and Milt Stiegel is always going to be a blue bomber.
That's pretty cool.
nice.
That's
a good
nice.
t-shirt.
I like that
That's
T-shirt.
pretty cool, yeah.
Want one of those.
I'm going to add that one.
Did you? No. That.
want it, Rod?
Do you think that would fit me?
You
Anyway.
should wear that to bed every night, Rod.
Wear it to bed. He wears his Milt Stiegel
Do you have a
jersey
hat
every
like
night.
that? Do you have a fedora?
I have one.
Okay.
That picture's from like 2005. So.
Oh, okay,
And I
well,
look
there you
the
go.
same.
Quite honestly, one serious question here. If you're a player, I don't even know if it's serious at this point. Like, what's your mindset right now? Not even knowing if you're going to play.
Yeah, it's about resetting. So what you do is you're in your internal clock, you're going backwards. I tell you, when guys show up to the stadium, it's all about being loose.
Right.
It's about just having fun, joking around, and you slowly get more and more serious and more ready as you get going. They're now having to go back and start the process again, and hope that they're not going to mistime it because that things get delayed again. So it's a challenge for these guys for sure.
And some guys have those superstitions where they're used to doing things at certain times. Okay, when the game
certain
starts,
order.
this time I do this before the game. 20 minutes before this game, I do this 30.
I had a lot of those, Milt.
Yeah.
This would be really hard on me. Like when I get taped and when I'm going to put my jersey on, when I'm going to put my helmet on, all that stuff was in a specific order.
Gentlemen, I think we are going to take cover now because there's a lot more lightning coming in. I don't know if we're going to have a game or not. We'll be back if there is. In the meantime, let's head to Sports Center with this CFL game between the Bombers and Ticats definitely on hold in Winnipeg. This has been the scene at Investors Group Field in Winnipeg over the last couple of hours. A game between the Ticats and Bombers was to begin 2 hours ago. A severe lightning storm weather delay has put it on hold, but they are still hoping to get it in over the next hour here on the CFL on TSN.
Can we get this party started?
This is a wild one here in Winnipeg.
Owens jump ball, what a catch! Did you see that? That's the kind of play Winnipeg needed to make.
The Blue Bombers, the Ticats, back in their dressing rooms in a holding pattern. They have been in that situation for the last couple of hours. Before kickoff, this game was postponed because of a weather delay, severe thunderstorm here in Winnipeg, a second wave of it coming along as well. And some diehard fans still waiting it out, hoping to see some football as these teams have been held up, are still waiting to play a football game tonight. On a Wednesday night, initially, the big headline, of course, a guy that played like lightning, Milt Stiegel, was to be honored and still hopefully will be honored if they get this game in tonight. Jock Climby joining me as well.
Rod, I heard that because of the delay, they haven't got time to deal with Milt Stiegel tonight. So it's just going to be football, and it's going to be done. They might give you like a jersey or something.
We might need a
second.
second Milt Stegall day.
They've cut the game down to 3/4, so halftime is definitely out. So.
Well, I'll tell you what has happened, and much to the cheers of the crowd, they have posted up the banner of 85 Milt Stegall. We just need to see a football game here as well, and have him truly honored as he deserves as well. The whole night has been a mess that way as the players try to, stay emotionally ready to play a football game. I got to ask you guys this question: with such a long delay, should they be playing this game?
Yeah, a fair question, and I know that the league has been asking that question themselves. I've been upstairs and able to watch all the goings on as league officials and Bomber officials and TSN officials all chat this thing through, and I can tell you that everybody wants to have a football game. This isn't baseball or basketball where you've got so many other opportunities to make up a game. I have no idea, and nor does anybody else have any idea how they'd actually make up a CFL football game. I played right after 9/11, and that was the one time I can think of where they actually had to very disruptive incident occurred, and they had to start moving things around and put games on days and nights where they weren't supposed to be, and that's the only example I can think of. But this is happening in the moment. I don't know that there's any contingency plan.
I don't think this has ever happened before.
This has never
in the
happened.
modern day history of the CFL.
And it's a difficult situation as a player. How do you get yourself back up? You think about the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They're an East Coast team, so it's going to be 10:30 when they start the game. And if this game doesn't go the way they thought it or the way they wanted to, they're going to use it as an excuse. Understandable, because they're not playing the game they thought they would play. They've warmed up, they got themselves mentally, physically ready, and now the game hadn't started when they thought it would start.
Well, I was just going to say, let's bring you up to date. I see more lightning in the sky right now as the rain comes down. The plan was to have the players come on the field now, and once they come on the field for warm-up, then they would play 15 minutes later. I always like to call on Jock now, the new Doppler. Hey, this is looking a little more optimistic.
You see how the green is going away, Rod?
Yeah.
That's good. See, Winnipeg's down there, and they're the bottom right hand.
So it's clearing up.
It's clearing. So even though we were seeing lightning here minutes ago, we were receiving word that this is actually a weather system that is now moving away, and we should get some football in fairly shortly.
Well, the rain is certainly slowing down. We did see some recent lightning. We are near the tunnel where the Hamilton Tiger Cats would come out, so we will get firsthand any indication of them coming out to warm up, getting the green light for that when it does happen. As mentioned, it was supposed to happen just a few minutes ago. Still waiting. Jeremiah Masoli, starting quarterback for the Tiger Cats tonight.
And, you just mentioned how they're going to give them a 15-minute warm-up. And we've been talking about it every time we've come on air this evening about how football players have a routine that builds towards that moment where the kickoff occurs. And if Chris Schultz was here, he'd talk about it, because he's talked about it ever since I've known him, about how that whole mental and physical process is a slow build to an apex.
Preparation and routine, as Schultz would say.
And he was all about that, right? Yeah. And some guys are more so than others. Some guys will deal with this better than others.
Yes.
I mean, you talked about earlier, Milt, about the superstitions. I had a ton of superstitions. In terms of what left shoe versus right shoe, versus when I got my massage, and when I got my ankles taped, and when I put my shoulder pads on, and when I went out on the field. All those things were highly structured for me, and most players are the same. It's all gone out the window for these guys.
Right.
All of it. They're having to recreate a new process and structure to get them ready. Now, is that going to make an impact have an impact on the game? I mean, both teams are dealing with it.
Right, that's the thing.
Unless it's going to result in injury, it shouldn't. It's just a different kind of way of getting into a football game.
And the point you make, if I was a head coach, I would say, okay, yeah, you're out of your routine, but the other team is out of their routine also. So there are no excuses. We still have to go out there and play a game, and go out there and play our game and win the game. There are no excuses. So what, we're starting later. So what's raining, thundering. We haven't had a chance to warm up like we wanted to. We still have to go out there and win this game regardless of the situation.
Lots of fans still sticking around. Well, you saw Jeremiah Masoli standing there by himself, looked like a little kid at the gate, just can't wait to get in and get going again. And why don't we talk a little bit, and joined by some teammates now. It looks like the warm-up is getting closer as they just check out the skies themselves. But it's been a couple hours since we've been on talking about this in football terms, just for the game tonight. Both of these teams carrying some momentum into it. Their last wins for the Ticats 2 weeks ago, for the Bombers in Edmonton last week, just what that kind of momentum means heading into this game tonight.
Well, for Jeremiah Masoli, who we're looking at right now on the left, it means more to him than probably anybody else, because this may be, and probably will be, his last start. I mean, assuming Zach Collaros is back and healthy for the rest of the year, Mazzoli knows he has one last opportunity to prove that he is a starting quarterback in this league. That's a strange position for a guy to be in, who's just broken a CFL record. He's just broken a CFL passing record for most consecutive completions in a game, and he knows without a shadow of a doubt, barring something completely unforeseen, he will be back on the bench for the rest of the year,
regardless. And
you talked earlier, Milt, about what does that mean for him? How is that for him to think through? Well, he's going to be thinking about life past the Hamilton Tire Cats. I mean, to me, he's got to be thinking, some other team needs to see me as a starter. I got one more chance to show if Zach Collaros is the guy in Hamilton for the next 5-10 years, I'm going to land somewhere else, and I can show you why.
And you think about the other side, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they had to make a big quarterback change, and the results, they loved it. Matt Nichols, and now he has an opportunity to possibly be the quarterback for the future. You never know. Drew Willie was their guy. They thought he was their guy, but the results, they weren't getting him from. Matt Nichols got the results last week. Let's see what he can do tonight.
Well, Nichols looked very good in his first start of this season, getting the call instead of Drew Willie in Edmonton last week, and led the Eskimos to victory. They've had some injuries at receiver, but it looks like they're getting closer and closer to coming out on this field. Will we see a football game in this Wednesday night in Winnipeg? Stick around. To the CFL on TSN. We're still here.
For Winnipeg, 29-year-old Matt Nichols. Nobody open, but he gets away, and now he's got Darvin Adams open. Nichols has time, got Adams, got a first down. Nichols looking for Adams, touchdown! One of the sweetest wins of Matt Nichols' career.
Make sure you don't change your channel tonight. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, let's go.
Get to watch that bad taste out of our mouth.
I'm just feeling waiting on the opportunity.
Hi, Kevin.
Look at Nick go. Try to tackle a grizzly bear. There it is.
I was looking at Ben Cahoon highlights earlier today. He catches everything. He gets hit, gets up, and spins the ball on him. You know, I love it.
Cato's throwing. Has his man. Oh, what a catch to Ron Carter.
You know, I just wanted to put on the show.
Nick Lewis making sure he doesn't go near that sideline.
Yeah, personal escort back to his bench.
You should see them stare at you when you're celebrating. They're like, what the?
Great job! Great job! Looking for Walker! It's picked off! Ball!
Let's go! This is how you win games.
Well, week 7 in the CFL will continue or perhaps begin, depending on what happens here tonight, with a doubleheader tomorrow night. First up in Montreal, the Alouettes. Big confidence boost in their dominant victory over the Riders. They take on the BC Lions, coming off a loss to the Calgary Stampeders in overtime last week. And those teams, the Stamps and Riders, will meet in part 2 of the doubleheader. So it all begins at 7 Eastern, and that's presented by the Brick, Thursday Night Football. As for this Wednesday night, you see the 89. Nice Clarence Denmark flashback jersey there, and Andrew Harris as well, represented on that Bomber jersey from some fans who are sticking around and want to see a football game tonight. And we believe we're getting closer to seeing it played. Rod Smith back with Jock Climby and Milt Stiegel, and we're awaiting the Ticats. We would have a clear view of them if they were coming on. Recently saw lightning. The rain is definitely letting up as well, but I think it's kind of a loose dressing room as well for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as well. Coming off a confidence boost victory of their own in Edmonton last week. Let's talk more about the Bombers, specifically the change of receiver. We saw flashback Clarence Denmark. That was an old Clarence Denmark jersey.
Right.
Seen a lot of 85s, of course, especially tonight, but a Denmark jersey, and he's back with the team because of all the injuries.
Right.
They had, now Darvin Adams is out, Weston Dresser's out, Ryan Smith is out, so in comes Denmark again, and a few other receivers, Chris Adams as well. I wonder what kind of a difference they could make.
And don't forget McDuffie's out too, Matt Duggan's favorite player.
That's right. Just to stretch.
I think Matt
to
Duggan
stretch the
McDuffie
defense.
can do it all, right?
Hey, Matt Duggan's already said the Bombers are going to lose by 25 because McDuffie's out. I'm just teasing Matty, of course. We had a little fun last week with Matty because he really loved the fact that McDuffie can bring some speed and knock the top off of defense, and he's injured too. So just a rash of injuries, and I worry for this Bomber summer offense as a result, especially Matt Nichols. I mean, you know, asking him to come in here with a bunch of young guys who don't know the system and perform with the kind of pressure he's under, because Drew Willie's still sitting on the sidelines,
right,
waiting for his turn to retake the control of the football team.
Well, the big reason they brought back Clarence Denmark is because he does know the system. He's been under Paul LaPolice before. When Paul LaPolice was the head coach, he had some big years under him. He was there with the Grey Cup, and they know this guy can make plays. But the unfortunate thing is he's your #1 receiver, and he wasn't even on your team last week. So you're going to lean on him a lot. He's a professional. They know he's in shape. They know he can go downfield and make the big play. But it's going to be difficult for Matt Nichols because we know the Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to bring pressure and see if he can handle it, and if those young receivers can pick up those blitzes and get in their hot routes. If not, it's going to be a long even, and you may see Drew Willie by nature because Matt Nichols may get knocked out of the game if those receivers can't pick it up.
And in terms of the coaching staff, what I think they're worried about, and believe me, they are very worried. You go into a game like this just hoping that these young guys can catch the football. That's your first concern. You don't know if they have enough talent to catch a football in a game-like situation. The other thing they're worried about is, can they get open, man-to-man? Do they have the talent? Zone? Do they know when to sit down, how to sit down in the zone? The third thing they're worried about is, can they read defenses and sight adjust? Meaning there are some plays where you will do X on against a certain defense or Y against another type of defense. These receivers have to be able to recognize and adjust their routes on sight. That's why it's called the sight adjustment. Believe me, guys who have had 1 or 2 practices under their belt, virtually no chance. You know who pays the price for that? Matt Nichols will pay the price for that. Yes. Clarence Denmark, he has worked in this system partially. I talked to Paul LaPolice before the game. He says the system isn't exactly the same. Okay. So he's constantly having to sort of say, hey, it's analogous to that play we used to run. We call it this now, but it's just like that other one we used to run. So he knows the system, just doesn't know all the terminology. So anyway, challenges galore for this Winnipeg offense.
And because of that, another player they may lean on is running back Andrew Harris. We know what he can do out of the backfield catching the ball. You're not going to get too many yards running on this Hamilton Tiger Hat defense. We know how they are against the run. But Andrew Harris in space, not many linebackers can cover him, so I could see him possibly getting 10 to 15 receptions this evening because he is a great receiver out of the backfield.
Okay, I tell you, a lot of fans have left, but a lot of fans have stayed as well and are pretty rowdy and raucous, hoping to see this game get going. Kent Austin, Ticats head coach, on the field, and the players expected to be coming on to the field soon. So we are assuming at this stage they're hoping to get this in and it will not be a postponement. There is your history, and all from 2001 with one exception, and of course that is because of 9/11, of course. So as Jock had pointed out, those postponements were different. They had to scramble, but never actually fans showed up to a game and had that game postponed. The last one, 1939, that's before the modern era of the Canadian Football League. Kent Austin addressing his team earlier about dealing with this long delay in playing a football game.
We don't have time to get out on the field. Hey, we're going to start with focus. We're going to start with energy. Yeah. You understand? There's going to be no low because of this. There's no excuses. We've got to play our game, okay? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go now.
So words from Kent Austin. Boy, how do you fire up a team 2 hours, more than 2 hours, after it was supposed to be the opening kickoff?
Yeah, and, you know, I had a chance to chat with Kent Austin before the game, and we were talking about what it is for a head coach to take responsibility for the psychological makeup of his football team. And I told him, I said, I've always been fascinated by it. Kent Austin was a former teammate of mine. We played in Toronto together in 1995, and now here he is with an opportunity to be a head coach in this league, and I asked him about his approach to that. It's a full-time job, he says. You've got to be constantly gauging the temperature of your team and trying to figure out what they need to get them to be at their best. And that's there's some coaches, you and I have known coaches, who are brilliant at it. There are other coaches who think they know how to do it, and all they do is mess up their team. Tonight's a perfect example. When you are faced with this kind of adversity, do you get all riled up? Do you rah and jump up and down and scream and knock things over trying to get your team going? Because then your team might actually kind of disrespect you and kind of think you're being a bit silly. Or do you just kind of go, guys, go out there and do your jobs? Hard to know what to do as a head coach, but that is your job. That is your responsibility.
Well, one thing you better do is give him some coffee and wake him up. But it all depends on the player. You know, certain players, you don't need to say anything to them. be playing this game 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to be motivated. Other guys, you have to wake them up a little bit just to let them know. And Kent said something that hit me. He said no excuses. Regardless, and I mentioned that earlier, no excuses. Just go out there and play. They have to go through the same thing, so let's go out there and play and win a game. Because if we win this game, we'll feel so much better. If we lose this game and have to fly home, and then you guys will be making all these excuses, let's just go out there and win this game and worry about whatever have to be worried about later on.
Here's something else that good head coaches do. They know who the leaders are in their room. So they're quietly, I guarantee you, both head coaches have quietly pulled some of their leaders aside and says, hey, you need to help me make sure all these guys are ready to play. You need to make sure there's nobody who's tuning out right now, who's forgetting their assignments and forgetting to get themselves at an emotional level that is ready to play a professional football game. And that's what both these coaches know, because both these coaches played. Mike O'Shea and Ken Austin have both played the game, and they know what it takes.
And hey, let's face it, it's an adverse situation for both teams. In that way, it's equal. But both of these teams have had to overcome adversity recently. I think of the Ticats last game when they were down and out, looking terrible in the first half against Edmonton. They had a rally. The long, great history of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, they've never done it before. 25 points down, they come back and win that game. That has to mean an awful lot to that organization. We talked about momentum earlier. What about Winnipeg, too, seeming down and out at 1-4? A lot of questions about the future of Mike O'Shea. Now, I know it's only one game, but to go to Edmonton as well, win that game after the quarterback change, I mean, I wonder, too, if circumstances like that can galvanize a football club, and both of them are, because of different circumstances tonight with weather, are kind of facing it now.
But when did that happen, Rod?
Okay, it's in the past.
It's in the past,
yeah.
Rod. It means nothing.
Nothing at all now.
Nothing at all. It's in the past. It was great when it happened. You know, Hamilton came back and beat Edmonton at Winnipeg, first time in, 10 years, beating Edmonton. But it happened last week and 2 weeks ago. It means nothing. Well, you need to go out there and don't interrupt me, Jock. I'm talking right now. I'm talking to Rod.
But, Milt, when you're saying things that don't make any sense, I'm going to
How
interrupt
does that
you.
not make any sense?
Because, Milt, you and I both know how important confidence is in the game of football. If you have caught 10 passes last week, you're going to go into a game believing you can catch 10 more because you're confident. If you drop 10 balls in a game, Milt, which no, I don't think you ever did that. But if you did, you would go into this game very different. So the past, I think, is a bit of a predictor of the future.
But if you go out there in the first quarter and get busted in the mouth and you're down 28-0, you think you're going to be thinking about what you did last week, Jock?
No, by then it's too late. Once this game starts.
Exactly.
But to your point, Rod, there is a confidence builder here that's happened with these two football teams. And there is something about how you feel after you have had a victory where you overcome adversity. Victories can be different. Blowing a team out 40-0 at home, that hasn't won a game, means nothing. You don't build on that. These teams are building on something. Whoever wins this game, by the way, will be building on it because they'll have said, "Hey, we overcame adversity again."
This game. This game.
Okay, but I agree with that. I'm not gonna disagree with you tonight. You know why? Do you know why? There's one reason I am not going to disagree with you tonight.
Why is that, Rod?
Because it's Milt Stiegel night. 85 being honored. He's officially to go in the Ring of Honor here at Investors Group Field, which we like to call the house that Milt built. Even though you didn't play here. Many great days before at Old Canadians Winnipeg Stadium. But
just
there
so
it
you
is.
know, it won't stop me, Rod. I will argue with Milt every time he says something that's ridiculous.
Players warming up, minutes away to kickoff here in Winnipeg. Yes, there will be a game. The Ticats and the Bombers will be back.
I'm the luckiest man in the world. I'm beautiful. I play for the Blue Bombers, and I'm on TSN. Don't get no better, baby.
From Miami of Ohio, number 85, Milt Stiegel.
Unbelievable that he doesn't get more attention.
Milt Stiegel is the catalyst for everything we do.
And Stiegel is gone.
Well, you don't have to go to Milt Stiegel very often, but when you usually do, good things happen. Look at the Jets. Look at him, turn him on.
That is money in the bank.
If this is a dream, please don't let me wake up. 4 catches, 4 touchdowns.
And the future Hall of Famer finds a way. Touchdown, Milt Stiegel. Touchdown, Regal. And he's the all-time Canadian Football League touchdown king.
It is perhaps the most glamorous record in football, and it now belongs to one of the classiest guys to ever put a uniform on.
My base, man. Right here. What's up, son?
Tails.
You've called tails?
Tails.
This is a tails.
Oh, you nice.
We'll defer.
You want to defer.
We'll take it.
You want football. So Winnipeg will receive where Hamilton is pressing. Okay? Okay, guys? You know what? You've all heard that.
From the Department of Things I've Never Seen or Never Thought I'd Ever See, Part 2, a coin toss done in the bowels of the stadium here at Investors Group Field. And as you saw, that was with Andre Proulx, the referee for tonight's game. A little over 2 hours ago, they did that to expedite the process because of the weather, just to get on and get playing as fast as they can. But you saw the tie. Here's something definitive we can tell you about this game at this hour. They've won the toss, and they have deferred to the second half. As you well know, our friend Milt is being honored here tonight, and a lot of fans have stayed. And I think
because of that.
Yeah, well,
I think
you know
there's a lot of fans who would have gone home if it
that.
wasn't for it being your night, Milton. I mean that.
And yeah, me too. I think so too. I think there's a lot of love for you and everything you did. Just before we get into this football game, which finally will be played, just what it means to you to be back, to be honored, and what your time in Winnipeg meant.
It's great, and the fact that you said that a lot of these fans stayed around just for me, that just lets you know what type of fans we have here. These Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they're great fans. They've been through a lot, but they treat me so well. They treat me too well sometimes, you know. My wife asked me, like, hold on, they're flying you back up there to honor you again for what now? But every time we come to the city, the accommodations, the way I'm treated, it's second to none, you know. And I just love coming back here. Me and my wife, at one point we thought about moving here. If not for her great job in Atlanta, we may be living in
And the cold, Milt, be honest.
I can deal with the cold. That's when I put on my wig when it gets cold, so I can deal with that. But this is just such an... Everything we do here is just 100. And people say, well, you didn't win a Grey Cup, but the experiences and the people I met on and off the football field in Winnipeg is better than making $1 billion and winning 10 million Grey Cups, because it's something that you could never take away from me. So I enjoy it all, and I'm looking forward to this halftime and what they're going to do for me.
Well, I've always given you a hard time, Milt, about going to bed every night in your blue bomber jammies and still bleeding blue and gold, even though you're supposed to be broadcaster and be objective and neutral. But when you've got this kind of a career built in one city, I have always forgiven you your partisanship for the Blue Bombers. This is a city that's long-suffering. Let's make no mistake about it.
Yes.
No team has gone so as long without a Grey Cup. But at least you gave them something to cheer about for a lot of years. And people have those memories. And when you look around and you see the people and how they react to you, you know that for them, that was something special. Other teams, obviously, thinking about Grey Cups.
Right.
It's too bad you didn't win one here. I can tell you with complete honesty, this city needs a Grey Cup.
Yes.
I hope they get one.
Yes.
I cheer for this team as well, because I don't just see anybody go so long without a Grey Cup. It might take you coming back and coaching this team before it'll happen.
And it breaks my heart every single time I got to get on the Bombers. But that is my job. TSN pays me. The Bombers aren't paying me. They don't pay me that much anymore. But I have to be unbiased as possible towards the Bombers. But when they win that Grey Cup, and hopefully I'm at that Grey Cup working on TSN, I'm going to run on the field and get me a ring also. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, let's just take a look at your numbers. I mean, by the way, all-time touchdowns leader in Canadian Football League history. There was a time when Milt was the all-time leader in receiving yards, since passed by G. Roy Simon, so number 2 in that department. Up there in so many different categories, 100-yard games, 200-yard games, 1,000-yard seasons with 10, which in a 14-year career is absolutely remarkable. Second on that list all time. Now, there was a recent highlight that came out because Winnipeg won in Edmonton for the first time in a decade. For the first time since the miracle catch over 100 yards back in 2006.
Right.
That stands out as a great, great highlight. What's your personal favorite memory of your time with the Blue Bombers?
Oh, without a doubt. That play right there. Not only with the Blue Bombers, but my football career, period. Yeah. You know, the way everything happened with that. You talk about Kevin Glenn. I owe a lot of my career touchdowns to Kevin Glenn and, of course, Kahari Jones. But this was just crazy. You know, we needed a touchdown. We're 100 yards away from it, 4 seconds left, and that happens. And I actually thought I was dreaming until, of course, Chris Brazo hit me in the end zone. That was the hardest hit I think I took all year long. But that play right there was the greatest play of my football
career. Kevin Glenn say anything to you in the huddle before he threw that?
Well, the play before that, we both came back to the huddle and we both said, did you just see the defense they were playing? And we both thought we had a chance. And don't get me wrong, I'm an optimistic person, but we didn't think we were going to score. But hey, you never know what can happen. We went out there, we ran the play, and the rest is history.
It sure is. Absolutely. Well, it certainly is. And as I say, I'm glad the one thing, and I've been getting that kind of reaction on Twitter tonight, that you've come a long way. Your family is here tonight. I am glad. And there is still a lot of energy in this building. We're all starting to get our energy back now. A lot of fans that have stayed are going to get to witness at the half.
They've probably broken some beer sales records. That's the one silver lining.
How many did you have, Jock?
Milt, I kept it to a 6-pack because I knew I had to come on air with my buddies. Milt, I know you were enjoying some orange juice, in the back, and that's good.
Yes.
No, we were all very well behaved, and but as I was talking about earlier, it really was sort of surreal being upstairs by the press box and watching all these bigwigs walk around trying to figure stuff out.
They didn't know what to do.
And that's the thing. None of them could say, oh, well, I've been through this before. Here's what we do in this situation. Everyone's sort of looking at everyone else going, whoa, what should we do now?
What do we do?
Yeah,
what do we do?
This is something different.
This is not like hockey or baseball or basketball where you have numerous opportunities to reschedule. You have 18 games. You only have so many dates, so they were hoping we have to get this game in.
Yeah, they talked about whether they play tomorrow. They come back at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Right.
It's just all about there.
Okay, it is Military Appreciation Night, and our national anthem coming up. Antonio Armstrong, former Bomber linebacker, he and his wife were tragically killed last week. There will be a moment of silence for him as well.
And his wife Dawn. Antonio joined the Bombers in 2000, where he was Winnipeg's Defensive Player of the Year and retired a Bomber in 2002. A great teammate and community ambassador, Antonio's life was tragically taken too soon, and he will be missed by many. Antonio was 42. The Winnipeg Football Club would like to acknowledge that Investors Group Field is located in Treaty 1 territory, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and the homeland of the Métis. Please welcome the flag party from 17 Wings stationed here in Winnipeg. This evening, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are welcoming and saluting the men and women of the Canadian Armed Forces. Joining us in attendance are 200 Canadian Armed Forces members from across Manitoba. Please welcome members from the Royal Canadian Navy, Royal Canadian Air Force, and the Canadian Army. And earlier tonight, we enjoyed a fly pass from a CF-18 Hornet from CFB Cold Lake. Ladies and gentlemen, would you now please remove your hats and face the Canadian flag located in the south end, and welcome Sergeant Cindy Scott from the Royal Canadian Air Force Band for the singing of O Canada. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, car ton bras sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Tracy Pierce of Winnipeg, you could win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff is returned for a touchdown in this game tonight, thanks to Safeway Sobeys Touchdown to Win promotion. And if a second kickoff is returned all the way for a touchdown in this game, you could also win $1 million. Good luck with that, Tracy. Well, 2.5 hours later, it's late, but it's time for a football game. The storm is cleared as we head upstairs to Rod Black and Matt Dunnigan.
All right, thank you so much, Rod Smith. Hello, Canada, and those of you watching in the United States, welcome to the Late Late Show.
Absolutely, and this guy right here, he was a spark last week. The Bombers are hoping he catches fire again tonight. get a much-needed home win. And on the other side, you talk about fire. Jeremiah Masoli was absolutely on fire a couple weeks ago against the Edmonton Eskimo defense, setting a new CFL record, 23 straight. He's hoping to carry that momentum in tonight's ballgame.
There's Kent Austin. You heard him in the locker room. Same focus. 2.5 hours later, his team off a bye week. Both teams coming off a win against the Edmonton Eskimos. Mike O'Shea and his Winnipeg Blue Bombers have not won in this stadium 6 straight games dating back to last September here in Winnipeg. Trying to get one here tonight. So finally, 2.5 hours in a delay, we're ready to play. Under the heading, better late than never. Here we go.
I love it. Little late night football.
Brett Maher is going to kick it off to the Blue Bombers. Let's play ball. Back to get it. Cutting upfield quickly. Blue Bombers will bring Matt Nichols out right now. And Matt Nichols makes his 2nd straight start after the win against his old team, the Eskimos, last week.
And he takes the huddle for the first time tonight with the decimated receiving corps. Much talk about that over the last 3 or 4 days. And those young players are going to have to learn hurry against a very tough Hamilton defense.
He does have a reliable receiver in Clarence Denmark back in the fold. Pump and go right away out of the locker room and almost brought in by Rory Colehurt, but we do have a flag on the play. Looks like interference on the far side. How about that? Talk about going after it quick.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, it's an odd night to begin with, and you're trying to create some momentum. Last week, they started incredibly fast. First 4 drives produced almost 300 yards and 17 points. Take that same mindset into this ball game.
Pass interference. Hamilton, number 14. First down at the point of the infraction. First down.
That's Travis Lee on the outside, just the top of your screen. We'll stop and go. He got him. He's banged him 12 yards downfield. Can't do that. Only allowed to touch him first 5. That's an easy one for the officials.
Quick hitter out of the backfield. There's Clarence Denmark, a guy who had 1,000-yard receiving a couple seasons ago, all-star, and the fans recognizing that Clarence Denmark is back in town.
Absolutely, and the guy right there on the left of your screen, Andrew Harris. Boy, you're going to rely on him big time, I would think. He had a season high total last week. There's your offensive line, number 60, your left guard. Really sparked that offensive line to have their best performance of the season last week against Edmonton.
2nd down and 5. Nichols will change the play, it looks like, right here. Sends out 3 receivers, now 4, and again going for it. Down the field it goes, and a deep shot this time, again with a depleted receiving core. He goes after Thomas Mayo, who's only had 7 catches in the early season, but they might rely on him. So 2nd down will result in a punting situation now for the Blue Bombers.
And here's your man right here. He's going to run a little corner route, and Travis Lee does a nice job of jumping that.
Justin Medlock, the former Cat. Brandon Banks brought down quickly downfield. Derek Jones is there. When we come back, late night in Winnipeg will continue. Jeremiah Masoli, his first series. 2.5 hours late. But Masoli in his last game, he was unbelievable. 23 straight completions. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. If you're just joining us, wondering if we're in the 4th quarter, no, we're just starting out tonight. Weather delay, 2.5 hours here in Winnipeg tonight. Lightning in the area, but clear skies now. And Jeremiah Masoli coming off a performance for the ages A couple weeks ago against the Eskimos. Comes up firing, and it's picked. And this is 6. Touchdown, C.J. Roberts on the pick 6. And Winnipeg explodes.
Yeah, real simple. Just try and run an out route, and Roberts just jumps it. And I don't know why the ball was thrown in the first place, because he's jumped the route right away and doesn't have a chance to get there. Not even close. Timing way off for Brandon Banks and his quarterback, and C.J. Roberts, first-year player from Colorado State Pueblo, takes it to the house.
His first CFL interception he'll never forget. Justin Medlock, the former Cat, the point after. First CFL pick is a pick 6. Touchdown for C.J. Roberts.
What's up, Daddy? What's up, Trey? I know you're watching. What's up, Mr. Turtle? Yeah! Oh.
Shout-outs from C.J., native of Boynton Beach, Florida. And Jeremiah Masoli, after an unbelievable game,
just
23
watch
straight.
him sit right here. He just levels, and he jumps the ball before Brandon Banks is even into his route. He's jumping the ball now. The ball's thrown, and he just undercuts it, and it's to the house. That's as easy as it gets right there, and it's exactly what the Winnipeg Blue Bombers needed, and certainly the fans wanted to see, the ones that stuck around.
Well, these teams met 3 weeks ago. Hamilton, incumbent tonight. They told us yesterday, protect the football. They gave it up 6 times, including a pick 6 back in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Mo Leggett took it to the house.
That's right, a 50-yarder, and that really sparked that victory, 28-24 for the Bombers, and more of the same from the Hamilton Tiger Cats here. You got to play clean football if you expect to win here against a tough defense that's looking for a much-needed win.
Well, if you're going to give one up, give it up early, though. There's lots of football left, and Masoli's going to get another crack here in a moment. This guy returned a missed field goal for a touchdown in their last meeting. Brandon Banks. Again, Derek Jones is there. There's a penalty flag. It was at the 20-yard line. So quickly, the Blue Bombers up 7-0. And it was back in Hamilton when Jeremiah Masoli, also another jump route, this time by Mo Leggett, and clear sailing to the end zone.
Yeah, it's his first career interception, and certainly pick 6, and Mo Leggett just simply undercut it. And here's the second one of the game off the tip ball, and he absolutely lit that defense on fire. 1 of 6, both interceptions by Mo Leggett, and then of course Masoli put the ball on the ground 3 times, and all of those became turnovers as well. And you gift a team 6 turnovers, it's tough to overcome.
Long field for the Cats. Masoli from the 11-yard line this time. C.J. Gable in the backfield. Put it on the turf this time, and Jamal Westerman initial contact, half the first down yardage. Pickup of 5.
Yeah, and you see C.J. Gable there. This offense only rushes the ball 55 times, or 55 yards a game, and boy, and why not? Because you got a receiving core like that, just put it in the air, and they certainly did that a couple weeks ago against Edmonton. That offensive line did a nice job of protecting Jeremiah Masoli in that comeback victory.
No one runs the ball less. Expect the ball to be in the air. They've got a great set of receivers. Masoli now. Here comes the rush. There goes the ball. What a catch over the top. Chad Owens. And they're saying that is incomplete.
Yeah, it was a tight window, and Masoli was late with the football. And you've got, on a small window like this, the ball's got to be coming out quickly, and he's late. Play's gonna be happening to your right side. He's got to dart it in between this linebacker right there. Ball's late. Chad can't come up with it.
Kevin Fogg handling the returns. Fogg now, left side. Down he goes. Adrian Tracy finally gets him, but what a return. What a start here. Horse collar tackle. That's another 15 yards, and the Bombers are going to have instant field position inside the red zone. Incredible start here for Winnipeg. Pick 6, and now Matt Nichols will go to work with his offense. Chance to add to this. 7-0 Winnipeg.
Adrian Tracy right here. You're going to watch him get in on the play. try to take down Bo Landry, third-year player from Western. There's the horse call. That's an easy call. Setting up Winnipeg for more points here early in the first quarter.
Bombers and Ticats both not very efficient in the red zone, but it is early in the season. Still Matt Nichols. It's Chris Adams in motion. Goes the other way. Easy touchdown. Welcome home, Clarence, Denmark. First game back. Back in a familiar spot.
Absolutely, and they ran the bubble screen already, and they faked the screen, and you can watch. You can watch the fake. He's going to fake the bubble screen to this man coming out over here, and then he's going to dart it in over the top as the defender bites on it just enough where he can lift it. There's the pump fake right over the top. Capitalizing on mistakes by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's exactly what you need here in the ball game.
Clarence, Denmark, cast away by the Bombers. Ended up in Saskatchewan, released there. Got a call this week. Can you come back? We need you. This is a guy familiar to the end zone here in Winnipeg. That's his 17th career touchdown and his first back in blue and gold. What a start here for the Blue Bombers.
I mean, tailor-made. Pump fake. Nichols knows where he wants to go with it, lifts it just enough, count it.
Keep in mind, two guys who have some familiarity as well. Out of all the receivers that are on the field tonight, Matt Nichols knows Clarence Denmark best. Rory Colhart as well, but Denmark and Nichols, when Nichols was with the Blue Bombers last season, connected a few times.
Absolutely, and Blackie, the thing I like there is the way that Paul Police actually utilized Denmark in the bubble screen to set up that look, and then they released him in the, down the seam and used another man as a bubble screen decoy. Well executed by Matt Nichols and company. You got to capitalize on those chances. You never know how many you're going to get, and the Bombers are so far 2 for 2.
Well, so far you'd have to say that the Bombers have benefited from this delay. 14 quick points, not even 4 minutes in. The ever dangerous speedster. Brandon Banks steps out of bounds, and Jeremiah Masoli will bring his offense back out on the field. Let's go down to the sideline now and join Sarah Orlesky. Sarah.
Well, Rod, you mentioned the quick return of Clarence Denmark. He was watching the Bombers game last Thursday when he got a call from General Manager Kyle Walters early on just to gauge interest. Well, after Darvin Adams got injured, Kyle Walters called back and said, "How soon can you get here?" He was here on Saturday, and he was playing, obviously, tonight. He had one practice, and he told me he couldn't memorize the whole playbook, so he told guys, "You've got to just pick a few plays for me, and we'll go from there."
Well, that was a good play. That one there.
That was dialed in.
That was a good play.
Well
Thanks,
executed. Perfect call and well executed.
Let's take a look at the Blue Bomber defense tonight. Also, they've had to make a number of changes, particularly in their secondary because of injuries.
Yeah, and you know, I love this linebacking core right there. Mo Leggett, Khalil Bass, and Ian Wild, absolutely phenomenal. And here's the challenge right there. We got a bunch of new faces in the back end there. They're going to be tested here. So far, getting a nice little cushy lead to play with.
Another second down here. Masoli trying to convert. And a spiral to the near sideline, and it looks like it's caught by Andy Fantuz.
That's a confident throw. He's made some very tentative throws thus far in the ball game early on, but that right there was a confident throw, more of what we saw a couple weeks ago against Edmonton.
12-yard pickup here for Fantuz.
Nice job of keeping his focus down the field and throwing Andy Fantuz open.
Pair of touchdowns against the Eskimos in that unbelievable comeback win, which featured Masoli making 23 straight completions. Pump fake now for Luke Tasker and overthrows him. Little pressure that time in the backfield for Masoli, and Tasker was wide open.
Well, that play took a long time to develop, and it was actually a little bang route about 10 yards down the field, and then he's going to spin it up from there as an inside receiver took 2 to the post, and Masoli just missed him.
Second down, 10 yards to go for the Cats, down 14 from their 52. 5-man rush. Masoli gets hammered, but he made the catch, made that pass count to Chad Owens. And another big gain as Masoli had to take a shot there.
Yeah, because he's again waiting for this play to develop, and that's Khalil Bass coming on a stunt around the edge, and Masoli makes another sweet throw down the field as that play. Watch him wrap here. Watch him. He's here, and he's coming all the way around here. Watch, that takes a long time. Masoli knows it. He knows the play is slow developing, and he delivers a strike and takes the hit.
Khalil Bass, now a quick hitter far side. Another first down, and Jeremiah Masoli settling in as he once again connects with Andy Fantuz.
Yeah, it's zone coverage, and the veteran receivers of Fantuz, Owens, and Tasker are going to sit in that zone all day. And I tell you, that ball came out of his hand like it was a hot potato, and he released it so quickly. Impressive how quickly he got rid of the football there after having to hold on to it for the last couple of plays and take hits in order to make the throws down the field.
So the Cats marching now, 1st and 10 from the Winnipeg 27. Masoli again in trouble, fumbled, and recovered by Winnipeg, Jake Thomas.
Flashbacks.
Another Hamilton turnover. No one has fumbled the ball more in the CFL this season than Jeremiah Masoli.
Yeah, and that is the Westerman not going to lose. Thomas, fifth-year player from Acadia, coming up with second turnover of the night. Well, Jeremiah Masoli just can't hang on to the football. It's going to be right around the edge here for Justin Cole, second-year player from San Jose State. And it's Jake Thomas, fifth-year player from Acadia, getting a gift. Second turnover for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
There he is, Jake Thomas. Douglas, New Brunswick native. Andrew Harris, first touch, reverses field, has a couple blocks, but is cut down after a gain of 2. Andrew Harris coming off his biggest game as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber against the Eskimos, where he rushed for 127 and a touchdown.
Yeah, and this is a menacing front four that really is on their heels right now, and well, I like that that linebacking core as well. And back end here, these guys only have 1 interception on the season thus far.
Simone Lawrence, game 1, as a matter of fact. Nichols loads of time, right over the top for Colhert into Hamilton territory.
Well, a couple things happen here is you got your quarterback, Matt Nichols, extending the play, being flushed to his right, and spot in the zone and throws a strike. You're going to watch Nichols, eyes downfield, he's flushed. He sees Colhert, sticks it in there on the move. Colhert does the rest.
There is the first touch as a CFLer for Chris Adams. Again, an emergency call with injuries to Weston Dressler and Darvin Adams and Ryan Smith. This injury-riddled receiving core.
What a story from that kid, too. Chris Adams, 3+ years out of the game, trying to get back into it. One injury after another, fractured leg, and then a subsequent surgery a year later. And he said no to coming back to the Bombers in 2015 because he just didn't feel like he was ready, and he didn't feel like he's going to have too many more kicks at the can. So he said no on his own accord and got his leg right, came to camp, hurt a hamstring, and they kept him around because they like what they see in this kid. And the challenge that he has is adjusting to the quickness of this game and the multiple looks that the Hamilton Tiger Cats be thrown at him. And so far, Winnipeg offense is settling in quite nicely, and he may have plenty of opportunities to do that tonight against Hamilton.
Some comparisons already made to Darrell Walker. Those are lofty. There's big Jamarcus Hardrick going down, the right tackle. Trying to get an update on his situation, so they'll shuffle that line now. Travis Bond will go over to tackle. Michael Couture comes in. Travis Bond, look at that big body, number 60.
Yeah. Looks like Walby out there.
Nichols fires again. Caught again.
I mean, that's
Thomas Mayo.
That's a 2nd and 6, and Thomas Mayo just runs down there, and Matt Nichols sees it, gets rid of the football. Here he is right here. He's going to sit down here in that soft spot and watch the timing Nichols has. You can see him in his picture. Stick it on him. Outside shoulder, that's an easy pitch and catch.
Bombers now 1st and 10 from the 35. Nichols now 5 of 6 for different receivers. And again, looking for Denmark, about half the first down yardage, maybe a little more.
Again, the throw is thrown away from the inside defender. Denmark's got to make a bit of an adjustment here. Watch it. Ball's going to be thrown to his outside shoulder, and watch him make that adjustment. That's beautiful. Just finding that soft spot in the zone. Veteran receiver like Clarence Denmark has seen it many times. He'll go to work just like Tasker, Owens, and Fantis from the other side.
29-year-old out of Jacksonville, Florida. Back to pass again, and a slant pattern. Coming over the middle is Mayo. Down inside the 15-yard line, and the Bombers lighting it up early here with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Mayo's just gonna come underneath everybody, and he loses his man over the top, and that's a nice developed play, well executed.
Nichols settles in, end zone, touchdown Mayo! Kent Austin can't believe this. Everything that could go wrong early has gone wrong for Hamilton. The only good thing for Hamilton, it's early. The bad news, the Blue Bombers are on fire right now.
Confident throw. Ball's going to be just lifted right over the top of this route. He's throwing him open here. Ball's gone. He's not open. Now he is. Then the ball arrives right in the back of the end zone. Matt Nichols was the spark last week. So far in this first quarter, he's on fire for the Winnipeg offense.
Mayo has his first CFL score, and hang on, a whistle.
Yeah, Nichols is 8 of 9 in this first quarter. Just lighting it up and throwing with so much confidence. Seeing the field well. You know, that rain delay, you think about it, and we talked about it, who's going to come out? Who's going to deal with that adversity? A 2.5-hour layoff. Some of these guys hadn't eaten in 6-7 hours. Who's going to come out with that little jump? So far, it's the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Justin Medlock's perfect on point afters this season. Well, you know what? Blue Bombers come out hungry, and they're eating up the Cats right now. With lightning in the area earlier, the strikes now have come from Winnipeg. Thomas Mayo in the house.
Last week, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers started hot in Edmonton. 4 drives for almost 300 yards and 17 points there. C.J. Roberts, quick pick 6 right there. Little pump fake clearance. Denmark in the end zone quickly. Matt Nichols finds him. Got Justin Cole off the edge, stripping. Jake Thomas cleaning it up, and then over the top to Thomas Mayo for another 6 points. Bombers on fire here in the first quarter. 21 points, exactly what the doctor ordered, looking to put two together finally in the 37th game of not making that happen, Rod.
The only thing I will tell you, young man, is that the Hamilton Tiger Cats were also down big against the Edmonton Eskimos. And so, again, a team that looks like they may have left their game in the locker room in this delay. The Cats, though, are absolutely getting swarmed. Look at this start by the Bombers.
Impressive.
And again, it was turnovers that did Hamilton in their last meeting, and 14 points off of turnovers early on here. Brandon Banks dives up near the 20-yard line.
Well, you got to shake that. I mean, he's thrown with a lot of confidence. I pointed that out in the first quarter. But he threw the first one, the pick 6 to C.J. Roberts. That was just a poor throw, ill-advised, and then ball security, again, an issue for that young quarterback making his 7th start.
Kent Austin. His team's won 2 straight. Oh, another dangerous toss out there.
Yeah,
Bruce Johnson was salivating.
Yeah, he was. He read that play and forced Jeremiah Masoli to throw that away. But you talk about a hot finish to last week's, or a couple weeks ago, against the Edmonton defense. This guy started stringing them together, and yesterday he told us he didn't realize what was happening till it was all over with. And that's Andy Fanches going over the top there. It's Jeff Matthews getting his first. Mazzoli going over the top once against the Fantus. 23 in a row. Come from behind victory. 31 unanswered points.
And a sack for the Blue Bombers.
Cole's having a night. He gets there. Little stun on the inside. Mazzoli gets flushed to him. Yeah. Watch. He's on the inside this time. He's on the inside, I believe, right here, and he kind of just rolls this way. Mazzoli's going to get flushed right back into his waiting arms. Kind of getting pinballed around there, but sometimes patience is a virtue. In that case, it certainly was, as Justin Mazzoli came running right to him.
Fought again up near the midfield stripe.
I'm Matt Nichols. I'm thanking the football gods right now for that rain delay. And this fast start in that field position has been unbelievable for quarterback trying to continue this momentum.
So Nichols has another good starting point. Here with 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter, a chance to pile it on some more. This Hamilton defense, ranked #1 in the Canadian Football League and giving up yardage. They don't give up much. Especially on the run, only 65 yards a game. Right now, this defense has to settle in.
Yeah, they just put an extra blocker right over there, and they're going to run the football that way, just trying to flatten out the Hamilton defense, do a nice job of it. Larry Dean attacks it at the point of attack, kind of gets blown up. That's good production at first down, trying to establish the line of scrimmage.
Challenge now for Orlando Steinauer. 2nd and 6. Need a stop. 4-man rush. Nichols feeling it. Out of the backfield is Andrew Harris. Oh! No! It's not Harris. Chris Normand goes leaping.
That was... Hey, he looked like Nick Lewis.
Or Greg Joy. Look at this high jump.
Oh,
wow.
That's beautiful. Hey, it's good to see. Just a point of contention here. Jamarcus Hardrick is back in the ball game in right tackle, and Bond's back to his left guard spot. So that's good news for the Bombers.
Competing in the high hurdles is Chris Normand. Wow. Now it's Harris. Up near the 40-yard line, just beyond that. So it's going to be a throwing down again.
Harris had a heck of a week last week, and that offensive line kind of got their mean on. He went 22 for 127, his season high, and a touchdown. First as a Bomber, and it's fun. When you follow the big boys like that, you find that missing ingredient, like I think that Travis Bond was for this football team, that O-line in particular. Well, it goes a long way to setting the tone for football teams, period.
2nd and 9. Great protection again, but Nichols now goes down in the first sack. One of the sack leaders in the Canadian Football League, Ted Laurent, with his 4th of the season, and couldn't have come at a better time for the Cats.
Yeah, he's right here, and he's going to come right in here. And I think Matt Nichols is going to look at this tomorrow, and he's going to realize he just hung on to this football too long. But boy, it's tough to stop Ted Laurent when he gets some momentum going in one direction. Forget about it. He got leverage on that offensive line and just bull rushed him and got into Matt Nichols' lap in a hurry.
He's got his mean on going right now, and once again, Jamarcus Hardrick getting up.
It's Ted Laurent's 4th sack of the season. He was a load in the middle, and he usually is dealing with leverage. Those guys are sucking it because they've been getting to take it to him here in the first quarter. He knows they got a lot of work in front of them.
Blue Bombers give up more sacks than anybody in the league. That's their first up tonight. And what that did is take Winnipeg out of field goal position. Medlock trying to angle one. And Brandon Banks now looking for running room and going backwards, and great play downfield. Quickly, the Blue Bombers converge again. What an amazing start here tonight.
Sam Hurl, starting middle linebacker for Winnipeg last year, making an impact on teams. Well, you're not going to get out-angled there. If you do, you're in a world of hurt, because 16 will take you to the house. Heck of a punt by Justin Medlock, tying the returner, speedy returner, into
While
that
the
side
ball
of the
was in the
football
air,
field.
holding Hamilton number 35. That penalty's declined. The player lost more yardage. First down, Hamilton.
Everything's kind of working together, Rod, for this football team right now. Justin Medlock with a great punt, just pinning Speedy Banks down there. Good cover teams. Penalty goes against them. They got him backed up. Get a 2 and out here, right back into good field position.
Long field again for Masoli. Play action, runs something out of the backfield for Luke Tasker. Tasker. Great week a couple weeks ago against the Eskimos, 146 yards on the game. 11 catches in that game. That's the first quarter. A disaster for the Tiger Cats. It took a 2.5-hour delay, and after the rain, Winnipeg pours it on. Yikes, 21-0 after one. A startling start sparked by C.J. Roberts. Pick 6, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have a 21-0 lead after one quarter, after a 2.5-hour delay here tonight. Matt, I know earlier today you were talking about the perfect storm. I don't think you thought about an actual weather storm that blew in, but in many ways that kind of storm you talked about has been in reverse in the Blue Bombers' favor.
Absolutely. I just didn't anticipate this and the Bombers having success that they've had, but it has been a perfect storm in their favor, and they've capitalized on mistakes by the Hamilton Tiger Cats once again, and how they were able to win the first game against Hamilton July 7th in a 28-24 victory. Very similar. Taking advantage. Not a whole lot of offensive production there, as you saw numbers under 100 yards in the quarter, but they took advantage of great field position and capitalized in the red zone.
Jeff Matthews, short yardage quarterback, comes in for short yardage, but is going backwards. Do not think he got that first down. Cheyenne Green, big D lineman. And the yardstick, which was at the 14-yard line, it'll depend here. Looks like they might get a pretty favorable spot, and they might indeed get this first down.
It's a tough angle to see from our vantage point. Saw a couple looks, field level looks. Cheyenne Green was in there pretty quickly.
So our referee tonight, Andre Prue. No, they're going to be short, it looks like. Or will they? No, they got it by a nose.
Right on it.
So Jeff Matthews goes back to the sideline, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats trying to get unglued here tonight.
Well, that's the first step, getting out of your own end zone. That was the first and 10 play to Tasker that helped them establish that.
Soley again. Trying to quiet this crowd here tonight. They're loud. Terrence Tolliver, far side. Nice move, another first down.
This is one of my favorite formations. You just single up the receiver to the boundary and go to work with them based on what the defense does to you. And it's real simple. If that defender's going to play that far off, just play pitch and catch and let him make him miss in space. And that's exactly what Terrence Tolliver does. Hey, Mazzoli's still got it within him. We know this, to make this happen. And he's a hot quarterback, throws with a lot of confidence. He just can't turn the football over.
A lot of game left. Three-man rush. Boy, another risky pass. Mo Leggett was in the vicinity. Chad Owens was the intended target. Also Tolliver, but that one also could have been taken to the end zone.
Absolutely, and he was thrown to Owens. He wasn't thrown to Tolliver, and he didn't see the corner sitting out here. And if the corner wasn't so locked on to Tolliver, then that might have been his third turnover of the evening.
It'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Cats from their own 25-yard line. Here comes the house. And making a shoestring catch is Spencer Watt. They're giving him the catch, but he's going to be well short of a first down. And again, the drive will stall for Hamilton, and they'll give the ball back to Winnipeg.
Yeah, I like the concept, but it's just a poor throw by Jeremiah Masoli, not located well enough to make a circus catch by Spencer Watt. And subsequently, because of the errant throw, he's not able to keep his momentum. He's got to stop and make the catch, loses balance, and gets tackled a couple yards short.
Kevin Fogg has had a couple of sparkling returns so far. Big boot by Maher. Look out here. Kevin Fogg, another big return. He has daylight. He has the end zone. Touchdown. 80-yard return, but it could come back.
It was 3-on-1 in the middle of the field. And he's already to the house, and the flag comes behind the play. And that's unfortunate because that's more momentum that Bombers were creating right there.
Holding. Winnipeg number 50. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Kyle Knox, and did he have to hold because Fogg looked like he had a pathway to daylight here. Let's take another look.
Great vision right there, an explosion. Nice move on Maher. And right here over the right, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. They're going to call it on Will Smith. He was being held by Kyle Knox. I just didn't see it.
Nichols goes over the middle. He's now 10 of 11, Matty. Over to Mayo again, over 100 yards already.
Yeah, you know, I mean, your field goal range here, points are important, keeps the momentum going. Just be smart in this second. Well, I imagine it just, you can take a shot here. It's not a bad idea. They're thinking you might want to just move the change with the sneak. It's a perfect opportunity to take a shot.
Nichols stays in. Second really in about a foot. They'll stay conservative, and he gets more than that.
He got 5 yards.
Down to the 25-yard line.
A little Flutie-esque right there.
What a story Matt Nichols is, of course.
Yeah,
he's always had to prove doubters.
He's going to slide to his left to find a little sweet spot there. Untouched for 5 yards. Running over Big Bond. Travis Bond. There's Lapo, old teammate. Feeling it today. Great play calling early on.
1st and 10. Screening it out to Denmark. Clarence Denmark reverses field. And they love having him back because, you know, Clarence Denmark was the odd man out because they went out and got some big receivers like Ryan Smith and Weston Dressler.
Yeah, he's going to get just a little dump pass over here. Little bubble screen, everybody's blocking downfield. He does a nice job of setting up his block right there from Kohler. It's amazing what he's doing out there. I mean, hats off to him for staying in shape and being able to play at this level so quickly.
Getting back in Winnipeg, and after the injuries to the two receivers, they went out and got 2 for 2 in the red zone. Nichols now, hook slide.
Such a good idea to get down there.
Well, especially at that time.
Simone Lawrence just was looking to eat him some quarterback, and Nichols, nice little play fake off the edge. Watch his point fake here, and he gets going to hit the edge, and Simone's going to be late to the party, but he's coming with a whole lot of bad intentions. Watch the makeup speed. Here he comes. Get out, Matt. He was eyeing him up.
Former teammates in Edmonton used to call Matt Nichols Matty Ice. He's been iced tonight. Looks end zone. Mayo again. Just before the goal line. It's a first down, 1st and goal, Winnipeg. Thomas Mayo stepping up tonight.
Absolutely needed to. I told him before the ball game, I had a 20-minute conversation with him and said, you need to step up tonight. It's exactly what he's doing. It's a tough catch. He knows he's going to get hit right away. Knows where the sticks are and moves them. 7 catches coming in the ball game. He's working on that in the first half here.
Matt Nichols, 1st and goal. Pitches it out to Harris, Andrew Harris. Rico Murray drops him at the 3-yard line, so it's going to be 2nd and goal.
Rod, I'm not sure if Andrew Harris didn't drop Rico Murray. Murray did a nice job of attacking upfield and on this side of the line of scrimmage. Coming down the field, going to pitch it out here to Harris. Murray sees it, comes up, makes a tough tackle.
2nd and goal, one more time, touchdown, Andrew Harris. Oh. Right now, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have no answers for the Blue Bombers.
Oh, this is absolutely beautiful. Watch the big boys. Suk Chung, Stanley Bryant washing them down. Watch this line collapse. Just wash down. Nice block on the edge by Jace Davis, too. That's a walk-in for Andrew Harris. His 2nd as a Bomber.
Justin Medlock once more. Has not missed a convert, as mentioned, continues. And on Military Appreciation Night, the Blue Bombers are firing on all cylinders. He walks in. It's a walkover right now.
Offensive line getting it done up front, kind of eating on the Hamilton D-line. Well, it's Drake Davis gets the brunt of it. Adrian Tracy gets the brunt of it. Suk Chong, Stanley Bryant going to work with a little chip in by Jace Davis and Courtney Stephen. That's good work up front. Just insult to injury.
Tiger Cats in need of a serious spark. Banks a couple yards deep in his end zone. Now cuts back. Kicks the corner. Brandon Banks brings it up near the 30-yard line. 35-yard return. Jeremiah Masoli needing a response desperately. 28-zip. Coming up tonight at halftime, the GMC Precision Playbook with Milt Stiegel. How's he going to do that and be honored at the same time? Well, he'll figure it out.
He's fast.
Yeah, he is. Well, he is.
Really fast.
On throwing deep versus behind. And it is Milt Knight, of course, here tonight. A lot of 85s in the building. And right now, the Bombers playing like they have Stiegel in the lineup still. Explosive. C.J. Gable swarmed. Euclid Cummings in. Westerman in, and the whole front line. The defense. There's Jake Thomas, already has a big play in this game.
Yeah, this momentum, we know this game's a game of momentum, and we've seen it from both football teams. Right now, it is all in favor of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're dealing with that delay better than certainly the Hamilton Tiger Cats are, that's for sure.
Masoli, 2nd and 10. And on that far side, Fantuz, who is used to making circus catches, cannot. You can see the exasperation on the face of Kent Austin on the far side. I don't think anybody, delay or not, saw this score coming this early in this ball game.
I know I didn't. Thought it'd be a tightly contested football game, but that was one heck of a curveball we were all thrown with that storm coming in. Obviously, Winnipeg has handled it better.
Oh, it's blocked. Why not? They've done everything else tonight. And it's scooped up. And Winnipeg ball again. And the onslaught continues. It is Winnipeg's night. Tony Burnett after Derek Jones with the block. Winnipeg ball once more.
Derek Jones, 3rd-year player from Simon Fraser. Watch him sneak in here and lay out. And that's beautifully designed. I didn't even see that coming. Nobody sees it coming. Boy, Mike O'Shea is thinking, boy, this win is a whole lot better than that losing.
Special
They're
teams
on
doing
a roll.
it.
They're on a roll right now.
All three phases right now, and Matt Nichols is feeling it too right now.
12 of 13, 122 yards, and a couple sweet touchdown strikes.
Turnovers killing Hamilton again. Nichols goes for the throat again. Adams can't hang in. Think about this. 9 Hamilton turnovers in
Chris Adams is not getting up down there.
8.5 quarters.
Matt Nichols throws this beautifully on time, and something happens with Chris. He just loses his legs, and watch him here.
See keys up. We'll try to get an update. Yes, 9 turnovers right now in 5.5 quarters.
It's not going to get it done. It'll get you L's as opposed to W's.
Sword. Rory Colehart, top of your screen. Thomas Mayo already has a touchdown. Nichols looking to Colehart, and then also to Julian Feoli-Gattino. Dropped the football, whistle had blown.
Yeah, and he's got 1 catch on the year so far, and 6 yards came after contact, and he gets about 3 more after contact here, and I believe he's going to be real close to first down. Another well-spotted football on the outside shoulder because the DB is breaking on the inside. The ball's got to be put to the outside, and
knee was down.
Oh, that's a nice job by him just reaching for that first down.
Here they go again. Cluster formation. Give it off to Harris. Scampering left and then met by about 5 Cats. Lost some yardage on the play. May have lost 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, Hamilton can play too. They just haven't been playing well thus far in this ball game. And here, they're just trying to get an edge game going here with numbers, and Hamilton gets penetration. Rico Murray and company out there getting her done.
So 2nd and goal from the 11. Nichols has used basically everybody tonight. There's Harris out of the backfield, and he's not going to get there.
All the way. Carrying like a loaf of bread. Couldn't take points off the board. Put 3 on here, you go up 31-0. Start putting a couple nails in the coffin.
Well, again, Hamilton coming off huge bounce back, comeback victory in Edmonton, then had the bye week. They were down 25, but imagine down 31. 31, and you still got time. It's still almost 5 minutes to go before halftime.
Yeah, a lot can happen here in the next 5 minutes, but you know that regardless of what happens here in the next 5 minutes, you know Hamilton's going to go in the locker room, and what are they going to say? Hey, we've been here before, boys. Pretty crummy place to be as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Winnipeg has been all over the visiting Cats tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the Brick Thursday Night Football will be in Montreal. BC Lions and the Alouettes, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Lions coming off a heartbreaking loss to Calgary. Stampeders against the Rough Riders in the second half of our doubleheader tomorrow night. And the Rough Riders, they got walloped by the Alouettes last week. Thursday Night Football presented by the Brick tomorrow night as Week 7 continues. Week 7 in Eastern Canada is actually Thursday morning football right now after midnight. Masoli delivers to Tolliver. Tolliver has to scrap here, and he will. Lunging and might get a good spot. They're going to be a little bit short, 9 yards, but trying to get some points here in a hurry are the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
They're scrapping. Nothing's going their way. Sometimes that's just got a little extra effort, trust in your eyes as a quarterback, spotting the football, not throwing the football, hanging on to the football.
Jeff Matthews squirms through for almost 6 yards.
Yeah, he's just going to follow these Cats right over here on this side. Nice little crease. He gets him about 5 or 6. Jeff Matthews, big boy, good for those type of situations. 6'3", about 235, 240.
4 receiver set. Soli fires and picked off. Taylor Loeffler has his first CFL interception on a tip drill.
And you know who he beat in that tip drill? It was a guy with some of the sweetest, biggest hands in the Canadian Football League. I believe it was Andy Fantus he snatched that ball from. And Wofford being 6'4" himself. Andy Fantus right here. He's going to go up there, and I don't think this ball should be thrown because it's undercut right underneath.
Could have been picked off right there.
Yeah, could have been picked
by
off.
Kevin Fogg. And then Loeffler steals it.
6'4", goes up and high points it.
Vanier Cup champion with the UBC T-Birds. Taylor Loeffler only his second start, and Andrew Harris plowing and running over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You know, we saw Jeff Matthews a few moments ago, and it makes you wonder if we might see Jeff Matthews soon. It's a nightmare for Jeremiah Masoli. Hamilton Tiger Cats committing 4 turnovers in the first half and 10 over the last 6 quarters.
What a great night for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and how fitting as they are about to honor one of their greatest ever. It is Milt Stegall night, about to officially go into the Ring of Honor. 85 is ready. Rod, Matty.
Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, in the spirit of Milt Stegall, are looking to put up 85 points tonight.
Yeah, I think they're well on their way.
Well, there is Milt, and there's, of course, Milt would have that jersey on. He's almost ready to go here. He's right in that end zone. Bombers sniffing it again. Julian Faoli-Godino, but another turnover just plaguing the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And this is not the Hamilton Tiger Cat team that we've grown accustomed, or Ken Austin has coached over the last couple of seasons.
No, it's not, but any team will look different, and when you turn the ball over 4 times and a half, and 6 times in the last 6 quarters against this team.
5th time in the red zone. Bombers have scored every time in the red zone tonight. Touchdowns and field goals. Look at that straight arm. Another one from Harris. On 2nd down, he's not going to get the 1st down. So once again, Justin Medlock will return to the field to kick another field goal.
That's a nice open field tackle by Travis Lee after Harris put a nice stiff arm on would-be defender, and open field tackle on Andrew Harris is difficult to do.
So Justin Medlock, 31-yarder. (17 of 21 this season. Matt Nichols the hold. Kick is up, and everything going perfect on Milt night for the Blue Bombers.
Yeah, Matt Nichols does a nice job of getting those laces out, one finger on the tip of the ball, and left footer. Nichols making the adjustment of handling that left-footed sidewinder. Justin Medlock, who absolutely pounding the football. And that guy is on fire right now, exactly what this football team needed. Quarterback with a little swagger.
You saw Buck Pierce there. Handles the quarterbacks, of course. Pierce, former Bomber quarterback. Last time Winnipeg had a game like this, Buck was actually the quarterback. They rocked Hamilton back in 2010, 49-29. This one right now is looking worse. Can the Hamilton Tiger Cats muster any kind of offense, some points before halftime? I haven't seen a game like this. Well, since last week, the Montreal-Saskatchewan game.
Winnipeg's just dominating the time of possession.
Brandon Banks down the sideline and cuts back. And there's a bit of a spark from one of the great returners. 47 yards. Brandon Banks looked like he was out of bounds, kind of faked everybody out. Kevin Fogg appreciates that. He returns footballs.
Yeah, Brandon Banks averages 25.7 yards every kickoff return, and here he's going to add to that total. Tight ropes the sidelines. Puts Hamilton in a good situation where they might be able to put some points on the board before the half.
Got to get something. They've got nothing tonight so far. Giving up 34. Masoli's in trouble. There he goes again. Jamal Westerman with the sack. Number 4 on the season for him.
Boy, just flushing him to the spot, too. Deep in. This is a covered sack. This is a covered sack. He's going to come all the way over here, and he's going to be flushed. In order to come that far and have the quarterback flush to you in this area, it takes time. DBs are doing their job on the back end. That stunt gets Jeremiah Masoli.
They come hungry again. Masoli now goes deep for Tolliver. And it's a jump ball, and it was very close to being intercepted once more.
Yeah, just looking at that, my first take on that, it looked like Tolliver, OPI, a little offensive pass interference. This ball's underthrown. There, he pushes him out of the way and then tries to high point it.
Well, Brett Maher's back again. Last time he went back to punt a football, Derek Jones blocked it. Will they come or will they set up the return for Fogg? Set it up. Kevin Fogg's had a good night. Still fighting, still scrapping. Minute 10 to go before halftime. Well, for the first time on network television, Mr. Dunnigan, Game of Thrones is coming to CTV. Don't miss the complete first season, uncut, for 2 weeks only. Weeknights at 10, starting Monday, August 8th on CTV.
Seen the whole series, Rod.
You a Game of Thrones guy?
Oh, yeah. That and a little Outlander.
You're a binge watcher, are you?
A little House of Cards. Yeah.
I'm a Ballers guy.
Yeah, you tell me about that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't watch that. You and Dwayne Ford.
I'll get to it.
You got it.
I'll get to it.
5 yards for Andrew Harris here. Matt Nichols and the Blue Bombers.
Hey, speaking of shows on television, Scrubs.
Yes.
It's a big part of Matt Nichols' life. Not because he and his wife used to watch that show a bunch, and one of the lead doctors in that show, her name is Elliot. They got a 2.5-year-old daughter by the name of Elliot now.
Nichols lays it in perfectly, and Thomas Mayo down the sideline. Knocked hard out of bounds, his 6th catch. And with Darvin Adams and Weston Dressler and Ryan Smith all sideline, Thomas Mayo has stepped up large tonight.
I'm just completely impressed. You know, you need to have it. Here he is right here. Sit outside. Oh, man, that's more the throw. He found a nice little soft spot that Nichols had to find him.
Nichols buried.
That's Courtney Stevens.
Safety blitz comes. So it'll be 2nd down and long.
Yeah, that's his 2nd quarterback sack. He's coming in here basically untouched. That's his 2nd quarterback sack of the season. Yeah, that is just down Main Street right there. Good idea, just tuck that one away and take it.
2nd sack by the Cats, again came into the week, leading the CFL in sacks. Their issue tonight, though, turnovers. Miscommunication, but Andrew Harris will take it. And he, instead of staying or going out of bounds, no, he initiates contact with Simone Lawrence and others.
Well, that was just comedy from the get-go. Andrew's saying it's his fault. Matt was looking for him one way. Andrew went the other. Then he finally found him, and it was too late. And then he just kind of leaned over and gave it to him. And timing of the play was not there, but managed to get some positive yards out of it.
Harris shaking it off. Coming up. Touchdown Beagle. Turtle Man.
You say he stayed in bounds. Good idea. 13 seconds on the clock. Now they can just take a knee and we get to this celebration.
You got it. Milt Stiegel coming up. 4 seconds away. They'll march this down, and an unbelievable display by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Absolute domination. I don't even know if Milt Stiegel had a night like this. Oh yeah, he did, a few times. Milt's night when we come back. The Bombers, large over the Hamilton Tiger Cats at the half.
Extraordinary. There's a word that applies to that man very, very well. Milton Eugene Stiegel, 14 years, a Winnipeg Blue Bomber, the legend, number 85, and of course, we're blessed to have him as a friend and a colleague here on TSN. Not with us right now because he's on the field. They're getting set for a ceremony, and you know, uncommon, extraordinary applies to this night, this game as well. 34-0. His old team, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, really taking it to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. We'll talk more about the game in a moment, but first, it's 85's turn in the ceremony here at Investors Group Field.
Into the Ring of Honor beginning next season, we will induct one alumnus per year. You can vote for the next selection on bombersfanzone.com. Now, please turn your attention to the video boards as we honor tonight's Blue Bomber Ring of Honor inductee, Milt Stiegel.
The greatest receiver in Winnipeg Blue Bomber history, Milt Stiegel holds nearly all of the team's pass-catching records, and many are likely never to be surpassed. After 3 seasons in the NFL with his hometown team, the Cincinnati Bengals, Stiegel journeyed north to the CFL and the Blue Bombers. His record-shattering career started in September of 1995, and in just 6 games, he gave fans in Winnipeg and across the league a glimpse of what was to come. By 97, in his second full season and playing on a team that managed just 4 wins, Stiegel truly established himself as one of the CFL's top players, thrilling fans who had little to cheer about by averaging a league record 26.5 yards a catch while scoring 14 touchdowns, almost a third of the majors the Bombers scored that season. Stiegel adapted to the Canadian game quickly and found ways to beat defensive coverages to get himself wide open. And once he had the football, Stiegel would run away from defenders to the end zone, untouched. Once Stiegel had a step on a defensive back, and if the quarterback could get him the football, it was a guaranteed touchdown. That was very evident when Kahari Jones became a Bomber, and in 2002, Stiegel set a CFL record for touchdown receptions with 23 and was selected as the league's outstanding player. In 2007, he surpassed George Reed and Mike Pringle as the league's all-time touchdown leader. And when he retired after the 2008 season, he had 147. While Stiegel's 14-year Bomber and Canadian Football Hall of Fame career is overflowing with highlights, none is greater than his dramatic final play game-winning touchdown against the Eskimos.
Are you kidding? This is unbelievable! 100 yards on the final play.
It has been way too long since I said this man's name. Bomber fans, please join me in welcoming number 85, Milt Stiegel. To congratulate Milt on behalf of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, please welcome President and CEO Wade Miller.
Milt, on behalf of all the Blue Bomber fans, the organization, your former teammates, we're honored to put you in the Insurance Brokers Association of Manitoba Ring of Honor. Milt Stegall, there's your name with all the other greats. You are the best receiver that's ever played in the CFL, and we're honored to have you as part of the Ring of Honor. Congratulations, Milt.
Well, first of all, I want to thank all the fans who stuck around. I understand the fans had to leave, but I just want to thank all you fans for sticking around and continue to support me like you have throughout my 14-year career. It is truly an honor, and I'm humbled by this. It's an honor to have my beautiful wife and my 2 lovely sons here. When I got the call from Wade, I was humbled, and I knew that I was coming back to a great situation. I want to thank the panel. They surprised me a little bit, Rod and Jock. I want to thank them for coming out. But I want to thank the fans, because without you guys, there is no me. You made me everything I am. I always say, I was born in Cincinnati, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, but Winnipeg will always be my home. Thank you.
Milt Stegall and his family, and you heard him say it, Winnipeg will always be his home. He was right at home for so many years here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and immortalized now in the Ring of Honor at Investors Group Field. And his Bombers are leading big time at the half.
The GMC Precision Playbook, brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade, with Milt Stegall.
The deep ball is the hardest ball to complete in football.
Play fake. Jennings looking over the top for Arsenault in the end zone. Touchdown!
Going into a game, most offenses set a goal to successfully complete 3 to 5 deep balls a game, meaning any catch over 30 yards. Quarterbacks give themselves a better chance of completing the deep ball when they're able to decipher when to throw it over the defender's head and when to throw it behind the defender. This action is not predetermined in the huddle. The quarterback does not make this decision until the receiver and the defensive back are down the field. The determining factor for the quarterback is the proximity of the defensive back to the receiver. If the defensive back is behind the receiver, the ball is thrown over the defender's head. If the defensive back is even or slightly ahead of the receiver, the ball is thrown behind him. An advantage of the throw behind is it is rarely intercepted. It's either a catch or an incomplete pass. The difficulty of the deep ball is made easier when the quarterback makes the correct decision on how to throw.
Glenn goes over the top, has Deron Carter. Carter in stride. Big play, Deron Carter.
All Winnipeg at the half, 34-0 over the Ticats. Here's Jock with the stats.
Oh, Nichols a blistering 17 of 19 for 162 yards. His favorite receiver tonight so far has been Thomas Mayo, guy who started on the practice roster and now making the most of his opportunities.
All right, back in the field here in Winnipeg. Jock Climby with Rod Smith here. Well, I don't know where to begin in a game like this. The storm blew over an hour and a half ago. Try telling that to the Ticats. This storm still isn't over.
They're still in the locker room.
Well, it's incredible. It really is. I mean, you talk about offense, defense, special teams. Where do you begin analyzing this Winnipeg dominance?
Yeah, they're getting beaten all aspects of the football game, and you know, I'm sure they're going to say maybe it's the layover because they had a bye week, or maybe it was a delay in the game, but they just haven't shown up as Winnipeg has. And I was really impressed with this drive in particular. I mean, they went no huddle. I mean, Paul LaPolice, the offensive coordinator for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, with a roster full of young, inexperienced receivers, actually went no huddle on this drive, and they marched all the way down the football field, slicing and dicing the Hamilton Tiger-Cats, and kept them completely off balance. And I just love the way that they were getting the ball out of the quarterback's hand very quickly. I think that's critical. And then when it was time for the kill shot, he stepped back and knifed it in there. And that's just a great throw and a great catch by Thomas Mayo for a guy he wouldn't have a lot of rapport with to actually find a way to make that strike in that situation is just an example of how they've been dominating all night.
Nice tribute to Milt. Hey, the Ticats 2 weeks ago had the greatest ever comeback. That was 25 points. They're going to need to do a whole lot better than that. They're down by 34 with the second half kickoff coming up here in the CFL on TSN.
Back in Winnipeg, where the Blue Bombers have absolutely stormed over the Hamilton Tiger Cats 34-0. Looks like the Cats will make a quarterback change here. Jeremiah Masoli did have his hands on the hips a few moments ago. Jeff Matthews was warming up and looked like he would be the guy. We'll know shortly as the Bombers will kick it off. This is the 4th largest lead in club history. Their entire 80 years of play. The last time the Bombers had a halftime lead like this, 13 years ago. 2003 against Calgary, 42-3. Now you've got to hold on. Brandon Banks. So the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and it's Jeremiah Masoli. Even though Matthews looked like he was getting ready to come in, Masoli will lead the Cats here early in the 3rd quarter.
See what he's made of. 4 turnovers cost his team 20 points, and a lot of momentum and 34 ultimately on the board.
Well, they also know this guy is capable of getting hot, as we saw last week, 2 weeks ago in Edmonton, 23 straight. But I'd imagine if he doesn't get it going early on here, Matthews will be ready to be inserted. C.J. Gable. By the way, in case anybody was wondering, the largest lead ever at halftime, Mr. Dunnigan, was 1981. Edmonton led the Argos 47-0.
Ouch.
This is right up there, though. 34-0. And the Cats down like they haven't been in a long, long time.
Yeah, against a defense that is just wet behind the ears in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the secondary, and Frederick and Loeffler and Fogg and Roberts.
Soli now. High toss, Spencer Watt. And there's a penalty flag in the backfield. It looks like a hold.
Holding Hamilton, number 64, 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Yeah, Ryan Bauman right here. He's going to come off, and he's not going to, and he's going to lose leverage on the twist right there, and he's going to have to just basically tackle Westerman. Otherwise, he's getting to his quarterback.
Soli again has some running room if he wants it. Tiptoes now, and against the grain, another dangerous toss.
Yeah.
And once again, your favorite number.
Yeah,
Taylor Loeffler comes up with a big play.
He's quick to becoming one of my favorite free safeties, and I know Blake Neal loved him at UBC, but this guy's flat-out player. There's a dangerous throw from Jeremiah Masoli. He's going to be flush to his left, and he's going to look for a receiver coming back, and he basically throws back across his body off his back foot, and Loeffler's there and makes a nice play and swats the ball away.
Brett Maher. Nice kick. Back is Kevin Fogg. They'll drag him down. 57-yard boot. Matt Nichols. Outstanding first half. Try to keep it going here. Milt Stiegel night. Scoring in bunches. On Wednesday night, Thursday morning football.
Yeah, starts with this mess here. C.J. Roberts takes it to the house. Easy pickings, over the top. Welcome back, Clarence Denmark. Then back in the end zone. Little mayonnaise, sweet right there. And then Andrew Harris second as a Bomber, walk-in. Great execution up front, following the big boys to the end zone. Matt Nichols, 17 and 19, 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. Those aren't crazy numbers, but he just was very efficient on some short fields and capitalized on the 4 major turnovers the Hamilton Tiger Cats gifted the Bombers.
Think about that, 10 turnovers over the last 6 quarters against Winnipeg for Hamilton. And maybe it was a harbinger as well. They just have not been good in first halves of play since their opener against the Argos. In their first halves, over their last 5 games, including tonight, they have been outscored 91-23.
Ouch. Ouch.
Sarah Orleski telling us down below that Jamarcus Hardrick is gone for the rest of the game. It's bad news for Winnipeg on a night full of good news. Matt Nichols on the roll here now, looking, and bounces it in front of Adrian Tracy. Nobody in the vicinity, so the first 2 and out, Matt, for the Bombers all night.
Smart play. I just think that's a heads-up play. You don't want to force the ball here and possibly give Hamilton a turnover there. Just throw it in the dirt. Play field position. Have some good cover teams. Pin Speedy Banks in and let your defense do their thing.
Short kick for Medlock to his ex-teammate. Corralled by Derek Jones first. 40-yard kick.
And you talk about getting outscored. Jeremiah Mazzoli is just like tale of 2 quarterbacks. First half to second half. Just look at these numbers. Not bad completion percentage, yards, TDs just non-existent. 30-yard throws non-existent, and QB rating is just not very good at all.
So
in the first
what
half.
You're saying?
And
there's
look at
a
that
chance.
second half. Look at that
there's
second
a
half.
chance.
Absolutely, there's. Look at those numbers. I mean, this kid comes to life in the second half. He's used to digging himself a hole, but he's got a really big one now, and he better get a couple. He needs a backhoe to get out of this one.
3 minutes gone, third quarter. Bombers pitching a shutout right now.
Pump fake, got him.
Pump and go, and he has him and couldn't connect with Terrence Tolliver, and Tolliver might have been able to streak down the sidelines for a big chunk.
Yeah, and he's got him here, and he just doesn't make the throw. He's going to give him a little out and up here, and he's down the sidelines. DB jumps on it, whoop, give it to him. Just didn't spot that ball well. Fogg did a nice job of coming over the top. Might have been a nice little collision on the boundary there if he had stuck it in there properly.
Hamilton team that heads west next week to BC to take the Lions on. Trying to get some momentum, anything. And the guy who is Jeremiah Masoli calls quarterback friendly, Luke Tasker.
Yeah, and it's a nice job of Mazzoli keeping his eyes downfield. It's not an easy throw. But Tasker, he's just right here. He's going to come across the middle. Just keep working, keep working. You get rewarded for that. Quarterback will find you. Mazzoli does a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, throwing a strike.
14-yarder, 1st and 10 up near the 29. 6 receiver set. Another pump here and another dangerous toss, but handled by Fantuz. Remember, Jeremiah Masoli had a toss like that early in the ball game, and it went to the end zone.
Like a first throw of the game. Yeah. I mean, this is Fantuz is running out. Johnson flips his hips. Boy, that ball just sneaks in front of him. I think he was looking for Spencer Watt on a double move, and then came to Fantuz late, and that gave Johnson a chance to close, make that play closer than it should have been.
3 catches, 31 for Fantuz. 2nd down. Masoli now's got to scramble. Throws it and was able to make the pass count. I mean, Spencer Watt, that was a miracle throw over there to get that complete.
Yeah, I'm talking about backpedaling, and then watch him. He throws off his back foot across the field, already having to turn the ball over, and there's 2 defenders in the vicinity. But he throws a strike, fortunately for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And a 1st down. Well, back-to-back 1st downs for the Cats. Comeback has to start somewhere. Gable out of the backfield with blocking help and room. C.J. Gable up near the midfield stripe, and it was C.J. Roberts. Yeah. Collision of C.J.'s at the 55-yard line.
You were just waiting for that, Rod. I was just waiting for that. CJ squared, and this is nicely set up. And ugly field near DB, and you got somebody out in front that weighs 300 pounds squashing you. It's 3 first downs in a row. Got a little something going here.
Soley. Again, good first down yardage. Over to Fantus once more.
Yeah, I'm still marveled at that Loeffler interception on Andy Fantus, because he's got like Mickey Mouse hands down there. They're just so big, and,
yes,
I mean, he wears a white gloves to accentuate it. And Loeffler just went up there and snatched it from him for his first. But Fantus is a master sitting down in that zone.
3rd round pick this year, Taylor Loeffler out of UBC. 2nd down, Masoli. Feeling it now. Nice play. Tolliver, and we might have some. Oh, look at Tolliver sprung. Now, did he push off on that play, though?
For my eyes, I think it's OPI.
I think there might be a challenge here.
I think you get rid of, and you make a lot of coaches happy. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's right down to the bottom right here, and that's your matchup. And watch, he back shoulders this, but right there's a push. And that creates a separation. And C.J. Roberts can't get back to the football, and now he's down on the football field.
So Mike O'Shea will throw the challenge flag, and very good chance that he might be successful here.
I think so. Pretty obvious. Reading his lips right there.
Furthest, deepest that the Cats have been all night. Andre Proulx.
Winnipeg is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass by Hamilton. They believe there was offensive pass interference on the play. The play will be reviewed.
CFL this year, you can challenge offensive pass interference. Might be a good challenge. Everything's gone Winnipeg's way tonight. Well, Armed Forces Night tonight. Mike O'Shea honoring with that hat tonight. A lot of members of the Canadian military, and we salute them and thank them for their service and keeping us safe at home.
It's a sweet shot. It's a sweet hat. Yeah, it's right up top here. If we're going to watch this right in there, just watch that Terrence Tolliver. There's
After
a push.
review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Hamilton.
Wow. The call stands. So it's not offensive pass interference. And so finally something goes right
for the Hamilton
Tiger Cats. Now you're kind of shaking your head a little bit.
No, it's just.
You thought it was OPI.
I think it's an easy call, but it's not my place.
So,
just first down, first and goal. Hamilton.
Jeff Matthews in the game here. Short yardage guy, first and goal. They go with a cluster formation here. Double tights, and Matthews is not getting in.
No, sir. Small Westerman.
And now some frustration here. And you knew that when one team is down 34 points, stuff like this happens. By the way, that halftime deficit, the largest that Hamilton has faced since 1976 against Ottawa. They were down 34.
They need a backhoe to dig out of this hole. Brian Simmons trying to fight back a little bit, not taking anything from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Trying to quiet this crowd as well. Matthews once more. Looks like he's going to call it himself. And again, he gets in. Touchdown, Hamilton. But there's a penalty flag on the far side that flew late. So Jeff Matthews has his second major of the season. It is a long, long road here for the Cats tonight to come back, though. And Austin seething a little bit on that far side as he talks with Andre Proulx. Looks like the call is against Winnipeg.
Yeah, I think Kent's going to go for 2 here, and he's going to put the ball on the left hash, is what he was talking to Andre Proulx about.
Major foul, face mask. Winnipeg number 55. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah, this is a nice job in face mask. I saw this came around there. A good catch by the officials. Going for 2 ball on the left hash.
Masoli back in the game. Looking for 2, corner route. Wide open is Andy Fantuz, and he'll boot it into the crowd. But again, his team down large here. 26 points. Crowd didn't like that. Cats are finally on the board in Winnipeg. Jeff Matthews puts the Cats in the end zone.
Absolutely. Coming right at you. And watch his head get tugged here by Westerman. Fights through that. Gets his second this year. Impressive drive by the Ticats and Masoli, who's a second-half quarterback. 9 plays, 95 yards. Took 5 minutes off the clock.
So 15-yard penalty on that touchdown, and they'll boot it through the end zone, and they will get nothing. Wasn't touched, so no rouge. And the ball will come out for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to the 25-yard line.
Kent's not happy with his kicker there on that one. He wanted to kind of pop it up and pin him back there, and instead he boots it out of the end zone, and Kent's disgusted.
Well, he's not in the kind of mood he was in yesterday, and really over the last week and a half in the bye week, and not sure if this team had to shake some bye week rust off, but they did not look good in the first half, and Winnipeg just took it to them. Down the sideline, continuing to go after the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Thomas Mayo had one of the touchdowns early on. And if you're just joining us, it is the bewitching hour, close to midnight here in the Manitoba capital, and almost 1 o'clock a.m. in Eastern Canada. A 2.5-hour weather delay, lightning in the area early on here in Winnipeg. Late start, and it's been a really late start for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They finally got their offense going. Over the middle. Completed pass to Clarence Denmark.
Just a beautiful strike and a play I think the Bombers needed, as silly as that may sound, because you don't want to give them any opportunities. He's coming in here and he's coming straight across. He got the wrong guy. As outside as a number 2 receiver, my bad. That's Clarence Denmark, but the throw is the most impressive aspect of it, not so much the catch. Needed that first down, in my opinion, to stem the tide of the Hamilton Ticats.
Who would have thought we would have had a CFL game midnight? What a big hit, but Andrew Harris still churning, still with positive yardage.
Crowd
8 yards after what looked like, Matty, a loss of about 2 or 3.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, when you want to keep this crowd in here. Hamilton's good penetration on this run stop right there by Ted Laurent. Harris keeps fighting, which we know he does. Coming off his biggest game of the year last week. Well, makes major yards, picks up 9 there.
9 yards, second down. Keep it on the turf, and Harris likely is not going to get the first down here. The spot's going to be before the 50-yard line. That's where the first down marker is.
He's trying to do too much there. He just needed 1 yard, and he jump cut right at the hole and stopped his momentum, and then penetration came and held him short. Sometimes you just take what you can on those second and short situations, and you try to do too much in that scenario, in my opinion.
Bringing out the big boys here. Tim Cronk coming into the game. Chris Normand as well for some blocking help on this third down play. Mike O'Shea, who told us yesterday that he wanted to hit hard early. That's what he wanted. He wanted momentum, quick strike, and guess what? That's what they got.
That's what the doctor ordered last week against Edmonton, and boy, they dialed it up again. Hot start. That guy right there, Matt Nichols, got this offense rolling, capitalizing on everybody's turnover.
Looks like a guy who doesn't want to be delegated to back up again.
This is big right here.
Hamilton loading up. Nichols behind center. Will get the first down.
Nice surge in that right side. Following Suk Chung. Matt Nichols kept his legs moving. Right over this side right here. Finds a little crease right there. And that was Bond, Travis Bond, who come over next to Chung. 357 pounds.
I wouldn't want to be in an elevator, nor behind him in a buffet line.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you can say that about Dwayne Ford as well.
Oh, yeah, good point. Hey, he's listening. He's not as big, though, and Harris goes down.
It's a nice play by Travis Lee. First-year player from Miles College. Out of the Atlanta area. Coming up, making an open field tackle on Andrew Harris again.
Another loss on the play.
Mayo's beat. Ooh, he almost popped that ball out, had his helmet right on it. It's a nice play by Travis.
You know, a Hamilton team last year that was known so much for turning the ball over and interceptions. Again, just the one pick this season. They could use a spark here defensively. And they almost had one. We almost called that. Travis Lee had end zone in his crosshairs.
Those are points you're taking off the board there. You don't make that play. He just made a stellar tackle in open field on Andrew Harris. This ball is errant. This ball has not been thrown. He's right here, and he's going to come back and play it. And
should have been caught. Should have been gone.
That's a tough one. That'll haunt him. Things don't turn around for his football team.
3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Banks. Cats try to set up the return. Penalty on the return, 46-yarder. 34-8 the score. Hamilton's kept Winnipeg off the board in the second half, but it was 34-0 at the half. Late night, midnight special in Winnipeg. After midnight now, about 4.5 hours ago, storm blew through, lightning delay, 2.5 hour delay. Players sitting around, playing some cards. And after that, the Bombers had the flush right after that. They have absolutely dominated this game. We learned at halftime, too, they brought some food in for Winnipeg, and they were able to get a little more nutrition, some carbs in them for the second half. You talked about eating and everything else that went into tonight.
Well, yeah, and I'm wondering if Hamilton got that same opportunity. You know, this is Winnipeg's home stadium, and access to the catering units here, and the folks that are responsible for that. And just want to know if Hamilton had the same opportunity. Certainly didn't look like it.
That, of course, by the way, was yesterday. Today is this morning.
Okay, I get you.
It is the late show now.
Yes, it
would
is.
have to be, and I know CFL resident statistician Steve Daniel has all the answers, and I'm sure this would be one of the latest games ever to its conclusion. We're going to probably end near 1 o'clock a.m. Winnipeg time. There have been games that have been postponed or canceled before. Of course, during 9/11, games have been moved. The Fog Bowl, of course, postponed for the next day. And there goes Masoli. But a lot of people had their heads scratching earlier, Matt, including you, and you've been around the game for a long time, that something like this. And we've had delays, by the way, early this year. The Blue Bombers are 1-1 so far, and looks like they're going to be 2-1 in lightning delays in this early season.
What's a new stat?
They had one at the beginning of the season, their first game, a 45-minute delay. They had one against Edmonton.
Ultimately, it's about handling adversity.
First and 10, Tiger Cats. Out in the backfield. Oh, what a great move by Chad Owens.
Took another 5 or 6 yards on the play because of it. Well-timed throw. is you come out here like this and sit down and kind of make a little move and give it to him and take it away. On Khalil Bass, he's jumping out on him. Picks up another 5 or 6.
Not used to seeing Chad Owens' face. Usually has that visor on. Decides to take it off. Owens only 2 catches tonight. Kind of an end-around sweep. Tasker takes the ball.
They got all the parts down there to put up some points. They just take care of the football. But they're going to have to start doing it in a hurry. Because third quarter's coming down to an end here, and they only got 8 on the board thus far.
Down 26, we're down 25 again. Remember, in Edmonton a couple weeks ago, fought all the way back. One more here would make it interesting, knowing their ability to come back, and what a hit. What a game this guy's had, C.J. Roberts, tonight.
Yeah, just filled with confidence right now. You're playing with a 26-point lead. Play soft, 1st and 10, come up, recognize the play, and make a tackle, and that's exactly what he's doing. Took a long time for this ball to come out. Chad Owens underneath the coverage. Great recognition by that young man.
2nd down, 8 yards to go on the final play of the third quarter. And Masoli's going down again. Shayon Green.
That's a nice twist up front. That is just nasty twist up front.
4 sacks for the Blue Bombers tonight. Cats will have to kick again. We'll take it to the fourth quarter after midnight. Winnipeg sailing. You know, I'm always an optimist. Half glass full, half glass empty. So half full for the Tiger Cats. They scored 8 and didn't let Winnipeg score in the third quarter. The half empty is the fact they gave up 34 in the first half.
Yeah, and Rod, we talked about Jeremiah Masoli being a second half quarterback. I mean, he's going to have to be a second half miracle worker, but they did have 133 total yards that quarter and control the ball for 10 minutes, but they only put 8 points on the board, and that's just not going to do it in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to score quicker and find ways to create some turnovers themselves.
Well, the biggest stat line tonight is the 20 points that have been scored by the Blue Bombers off of turnovers. 20 points.
And the Hamilton Tiger Cats, if they want to get back in this ball game, are going to have to find a way to do that themselves.
Now, again, keep in mind when a team is up big, tendency to let down a little bit, and when a team is well behind, all you start doing is throwing the football, and Kevin Fogg really kind of got them going in the first half with a couple of big returns. But this has been Matt Nichols' night. He was only 1 for 4 in the second half, but his first half was sizzling.
Yeah, he was precise, and that's what you need to be in these situations when you're given those opportunities. You need to capitalize, and he did just that. He didn't disappoint. He made the throws when he had to, and made some beautiful throws. Threw his guys open, threw on time, outside shoulder for DB who's on the inside. Very impressive. Now, you just got to keep your focus, continue to keep the pedal to the metal, and drive this home.
What an emotional night and week it must be. We have a penalty flag back near the 32-yard, but the kind of week for Clarence Denmark. Here's a guy who may not think that he gets another shot. He knows he has the talent.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg number 66, a 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play, 2nd down.
What you don't want to do is also have something that's going to cost you in the fine department or show some lack of discipline when you've got this big lead.
Well, now you're 2nd and 20, and it becomes difficult. Play call here, maybe a screen, something underneath. But this is the type of momentum shifter and change that can happen in a ball game. And 15 minutes ago, you never know.
2nd and 22. Mayo, and Cats will induce the Blue Bombers to boot this away early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so 15's jump going off the field after 2 and out there. Offensive line took a penalty, and he comes off the field and no momentum. And one of those situations where I think Matt Nichols will be pleased with his ability to make the throws when he needed to in the first half, but the second half here, I think this is going to be one of those opportunities for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers offensive coaches to teach the put your foot on their throat mode and keep it there.
Oh, that was close to being blocked. But a beautiful kick by the former Cat. Brandon Banks. Ian Wild downfield quickly. Cats needed some of this early on and couldn't get to Medlock. 34-8. CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. What a night in Winnipeg for Milt Stegall as he, wait a second. That's not Milt.
That's Jocko Media.
Jock.
That's Jock climbing.
There he is, Jock enjoying the adulation here. Taking his, there he is. Oh yes. It has been quite a flight tonight. Milt Stegall night. Jeremiah Masoli now trying to keep some momentum for the Tiger Cats, who have shut out the Blue Bombers in the second half. And again, you know, you think about the fans here, and it's kind of sad that the rain kind of dampened the ceremony for Milt. There would have been thousands more, of a lot of people left after the delay, quite obviously. I give these fans who stayed a lot of credit. Hardy souls.
Well, they gave Milt Stegall a lot of love over the years.
Yes, they did.
And rewarded his efforts, and they stayed tonight. And
why wouldn't they? One of the greatest
ovation. Ever. It's good to see Darlene and Chase and Colin here joining Milt, his family up from Atlanta, and taking part of the ceremony as well.
Right. No one electrified a city like Milt Stegall, and they've had a lot of great ones here.
Some of those clips we saw of Milt too. It's just unbelievable speed. I mean, we always talk about how fast, or he always talks about how fast he goes. But you got to see it in some of those clips there if you've forgotten. He made some DBs look
just
like they were running backwards.
Yeah, flat out speed and great hands. And, you know, you look at that Ring of Honor they have with Milt up there and Kenny Plain and Chris Walby and Jerry James. There's so many great others that were going to go up as well.
I can think of a couple. Willard Reeves,
Joe Poplawski.
Joe Pop for sure. Yep. Tyrone Jones.
Leo Lewis. Bud Grant. If they put up builders and coaches.
Yep.
Cal Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
So many great ones.
James Murphy.
Perry there goes Masoli. He's got his man, and it was almost picked.
You got to have that one. That was a gift. That ball was in the air way too long, and it was thrown way too late.
Terrence Frederick, who had his first interception in his first game against Edmonton last week, a huge one. Almost had pick number 2.
Yeah, Hoffler was there. Terrence Frederick was there. Somebody's got to come up with that. Speedy B in amongst the Redwoods there. Couldn't even get close to that ball.
Second down. More time for Masoli. Has Tolliver end zone and overthrew him. And
how about laying out? You're down 26. How about laying out for that ball? I don't know. I'm just saying.
You're saying lay out.
I'm saying lay out.
So
struggling here to score points.
Let's see if he did lay out. Let's see if it would have been.
Dive.
Yeah.
What are you doing? It's your chance to do a Stegall right here.
Well, they're not playing 3-down football for touchdowns either. They're going for the points here. So Brett Maher, 44-yarder to make it 23-point game. And as you know in the CFL, Matt, I know it seems like it's insurmountable. What's the saying? No lead is safe. This one's pretty safe, but you never know.
You never
Especially
know.
after midnight.
That's why I don't prognosticate.
Crazy things happen after midnight, Matty.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
I think they're happening right now.
Closing time, man. Back in Winnipeg, Milt Stegall honored at halftime on the Ring of Honor. With more on his story and an interesting connection, here's Sarah.
Well, Rod, I was asking some of the Bombers players what they knew about Milt Stegall. I wasn't expecting this answer. Maurice Leggett, when I asked him what he knew about Stegall's time here, he said, how about this? His sister used to babysit Milt Stegall's kids in Atlanta. He had no idea who Milt was or really what the CFL was either. And he said when he started looking into it, he was incredibly impressed quickly by Stegall's play, and said that now when he describes Milt Stegall to people down south, he calls them the Jerry Rice of the CFL.
Well, that's a good combination. They don't need babysitters anymore.
Look at that.
Hey, come on, wake up.
Chase,
wake
that's
up.
Colin.
It's your dad's night.
That's the family, Darlene, Chase, and Colin.
Jace Davis, first catch. So now all the receivers have been utilized, and there it is, Milt and the Stegall family.
Darlene, Colin, Milt, Chase passed out. Look at him. Been a long
Jeez,
night.
Dad.
Been a long
Come
night.
on, Dad. Can't we go home soon? Come on. There's Mo.
He is some character right
he
there,
is.
31.
How about the stories? We'll get to it in a moment. What he was telling, and I'm still not sure if I believe him or not, but he's an interesting cat. He said he was camera shy, and then afterwards we're talking to him, and he said all the things he wants to do. He wants to buy an island near Madagascar.
Yeah.
He wants to own a hyena
and a
polar bear. And then Andrew Harris, when Andrew Harris came in and we were chatting with him, he said, don't believe anything Mo Leggett said.
Yeah, I believe Andrew Harris.
And there's Mo.
Mo is too talented for his own good. The guy's played every position there is to play in football and played it well. 3 years out of Valdosta State, and played linebacker, quarterback, running back, receiver. He played corner, half.
Oh, feathered in there. That looked like it was incomplete. The answer was.
Oh, that's good to see. Chris Adams back out there, trying to get in the mix. His first taste in 3+ years. Working through tons of injury.
Keep working. We're going to get the ball back to
You know, that seems to be the theme the last couple of weeks for Winnipeg. Mo, as in momentum.
Yeah. I've taken the foot off the gas pedal here. You know, I could understand, but you got to learn how to put games away. And it's been all Hamilton here in the second half, although they only scored 11 points.
Winnipeg 34 unanswered in the first half, 11 unanswered for Hamilton in the second. Mount Everest to climb here in Winnipeg tonight. Booming kick and fumbled.
Chad Owens.
Chad Owens. 9:26 to go. Well, it's hockey season. Did you know that, Matty?
No.
World Junior Summer Showcase.
We're only 7 weeks into the
That's
CFL
okay.
season.
That's all right. Friday, they make ice, man.
Oh.
Canada faces off against Sweden. Action gets underway 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific across the TSN network. That would be tomorrow. That would be Friday.
Wow.
Because it's now Thursday.
Hey, isn't Gordon Miller over there?
He is there. Plymouth, Michigan.
Yeah.
So the Hamilton Tiger Cats, 9 minutes to go and way offside. And that time it was the crowd again. For those that are left are still very loud.
For the stadium.
Hamilton, number 59, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
This stadium is like an arena, like a hockey arena, because the sound just bounces off of the overhangs here, and it gets loud in here, and I just love the makeup of this place. It's just perfect for our game.
Well, they haven't had anything to cheer about since last September here. Last win was last September. Investors Group Field, the Bombers just 7-23 since they came to this new place, and Tolliver hangs on, or did he? Yes, they say it's a catch.
Whew. That was right in front of Fogg, and that was a tight window, and Jeremiah Masoli actually makes this play. Right at the end, he gets hit, and then pushed out by Fogg.
Yeah, and pushed out means that that will be a completed pass.
No challenge from the Bombers.
Comes the rush again, Masoli.
Got an escort.
High one now. C.J. Gable, big gainer up near the 50-yard line.
Ian Wild coming back into the play after being fooled. He's going on a stunt right up the middle, and he's got to redirect. Here's it, Wild. He's going to get in here, and now he's got to get in his horse and trail this play because C.J. Gable's got a convoy in front of him. There's Leggett. He's got to redirect and get on his horse, and he comes into backside after Gable scampers 24 yards. That's hustle with a 23-point lead.
Masoli now. Little pump fake, and it was thrown way behind Andy Fantuz. Miscommunication that time. It'll be second down for the Cats. And a Hamilton team that next week goes to BC, and guess what? Zach Collaros will be back. As Kent Austin told us yesterday, when asked about his quarterback, whether he'll be ready or not, he said, highly likely. They've missed this guy since last season. Went out with an ACL injury. Masoli again. Owens trying to one-hand it. No. So now third down, and you have to think down 34-11 at this stage with 7.5. It's, well, they're not going to go for it. They're going to bring out their kick team once more.
You know, you talk about his team missing him. Zach Collaros, heck, I miss him. I miss watching that kid play. He's special.
Lit it up. Was lighting it up last year and then went out with that torn ACL. Watching him tonight warm up. Looks good. 56-yard boot. Fogg finally down. 14-yard line. Penalty flag down. Thursday morning football. Stiegel night. How about Milt? Nobody did it better in Winnipeg. Nobody.
We're honored to have you.
The 2016 Rio Olympics get underway Friday with the opening ceremonies. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific across the TSN network. We want to give a shout out and best wishes to the son of our cameraman Freddie Mislachuk and his son Tyler, who is competing in the triathlon down in Rio. We want to wish him and all the Canadian athletes the very best. Of course, Papa Freddie, proud dad. Canada going for it again at the Rio Olympics. So the longest field for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in this ball game. They haven't scored in the second half, and they scored at will in the first. Winding it down here, 7 minutes to go. Nichols, though, going for a deep ball, and Adams unable to hang on. See that towering receiver, Chris Adams. A few words for that Hamilton bench.
One receiver just one-on-one, get a release, get outside, and climb the ladder, see if you can't pull it down. He's untouched. The only thing I'd like to see him do there is at the end of the route, close that defender out, get back on top of him, and give yourself a chance to have a three-way go happening.
Simone Lawrence came in late here. Nichols, pump fake now, pulls it back and then throws it out of bounds. So the Bombers will have to kick from the goal line here, and you likely want to give up two probably, with Brandon Banks, who will be hovering near the 45-yard line. Fifth straight kick for the Blue Bombers, who have kind of flatlined here in the second half with that big lead. Matt Nichols just 4 of 10 for 37 yards.
Yeah, you can almost see that coming. They were very opportunistic in the first half and precise, like I said.
A letdown here.
And then they just come out here and just kind of coasting. And Hamilton's been able to put some points on the board, but haven't been able to take full advantage of Winnipeg's lackluster effort here in the second half.
Good thing they had a 34-point lead.
Well, yeah, that's that certainly is part of the equation, a big part of the equation.
They're going to kick it. Justin Medlock to Banks. And Brandon Banks down to the 46-yard line. So Jeremiah Masoli, well, the Bomber defense has held all night, so maybe they still will.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.
Oh, it's that kind of night. Feel like I've been here all day. Oh wait, we have.
She looks like she's wide awake.
Yeah, hang on, man.
He looks like he might have been over the rum hunt a few times.
Well, it's been that kind of night. Night that we would have been back in bed in the hotel getting ready for our flights in the morning, but that ain't happening because of.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing, right?
Yeah, well, something like that. 2.5 hour delay because of weather. And zipping it into Fantuz once again, Jeremiah Masoli. He's going to hurry it up now, and penalty on that punt return, so that's an 11-yard pickup down the 49-yard line. Masoli looks Fantuz's way again, and it's picked. And it's Ian Wild having an outstanding season. Turnover number 5. What a year for Ian Wild so far, leading tackler in the CFL.
Yeah, here's your man right here. Watch him do his thing. He's just going to read the quarterback's eyes, drop back to his left, come back to his right, undercut the throw to Fantuz and get him some. That stems the tide a little bit right there. Well, that's how the game started. Pick 6 for the Bomber defense, and Ian Leggett has come up with a big play for him here late in the fourth quarter.
Oh, Clarence Denmark gets flattened by Adrian Tracy. Where Winnipeg fans loving having Clarence Denmark back. 7th catch, 69 yards, and a touchdown for a guy who was released.
Look at that move.
And
He's
brought
not going
back.
out of bounds.
And then takes a heavy shot from Adrian Tracy.
Yeah, he's a big boy, Tracy is, about 260, 6'3". Clarence Denmark, 5'10", 185, 190 pounds. Took all that.
Final 4:30 and a penalty flag that flew here. Play clock had come down to zeros. 4.5 to go. Makes you wonder if Nichols will go the distance here. Would they give Drew Willie a little playing time here, get some confidence perhaps? This game looks like it's well out in hand now for the Blue Bombers.
You know,
or just keep going with Nichols. He's in rhythm.
Well, he hasn't been, you know, in the second half. Let him get back there. He was 17 to 19 in the first half and struggled only 34 yards through about a quarter and a half of play here in the third quarter and fourth quarter. And see if he can't find that magic once again.
Nichols, jump ball once more. Oh, what a catch!
There you go.
What a catch!
There he is.
Chris Adams. Go to the high point. Bring it down.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about in training camp. That's what he's going to take. The same play we saw earlier. Now just get there. He'll go high point this. That's a nice job using his height. A smaller defender. Whew. It's a big play. I make 3.5 years of training. Worth it. And when he wakes up sore in the morning, it's been a long time coming for that young man.
Well, it's been going 100 miles an hour, I'm sure, for him this week. His first start, getting up to speed in the playbook. 4 yards there. Bombers back in the red zone, 3 of 5 on the night. 4 minutes to go here. By the way, the Hamilton Tiger Cats were before tonight 3-0 at Investors Group Field since this stadium was erected. And that will end tonight. And the Bombers are going to make it back-to-back wins for the first time since July 2014, a span of 36 straight games. First home win in quite some time.
That's just incredible that they haven't been able to put back-to-back wins together in 36 games. And
the futility for this team.
Can't tell you how much they needed it right here, moving to 8-24 here at Investors Group Field. 8-23, excuse me. That's just much needed home victory.
Well, think about the heat that Mike O'Shea and the Bombers have faced over the last couple of weeks. Talk about an extinguisher to stop that wildfire, because they've come up with 2 enormous wins.
You can't overstate that, how important that was for his vision of this football team and this franchise moving forward early in this season.
Justin Medlock perfect tonight. Bombers pretty much perfect, certainly in the first half. 3-minute warning in the morning in the Peg. Well, the injured troop, big 3, Darvin Adams, Ryan Smith, and Weston Dressler.
Happy to see their replacements doing so well tonight.
How about that night for the guys who came in? And that was the talk coming in. How was Matt Nichols going to be able to get a game plan going? And as it stood, it likely was a veteran who came back into the fold, who lit a spark for them. Big kick here, Brandon Banks. Stopped in his tracks. And with that in mind, why don't we give the Nissan Titan player of the game happy homecoming.
Clarence Denmark. Yes. First catch, coming back, little screen. Little sit down in the zone. Again, utilize him on the edge. Little sit down, fake the screen over the top. That was beautiful. Well, that put him up 14-0 right there. Clarence Denmark, veteran presence, was big time for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here in the first half.
So many years here. Not sure he thought that he'd be back in blue and gold, but guess what? Second chance, best chance for Clarence Denmark tonight. Nissan Titan player of the game, brought to you by Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the CFL. So the Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to head to BC, and we're likely going to see Zach Collaros next week. Next week, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will head to Toronto, take on the Argos. 2-game win streak ends for Kent Austin.
Yeah, once again, his turnovers that bit his team and cost him a victory.
Andy Fantu's big night, 7 catches, but in a loss tonight. Hamilton will go back to a very familiar 3-3. It's been that way really the last few years, getting that kind of start.
Been that kind of season though,
yes, it has.
The CFL.
A lot of parity. Never know what you're going to get. Solely to Tolliver. Cut down by Fogg. 100 yards tonight for Terrence Tolliver. Seen a lot of bounce backs too, and redemption stories like Clarence Denmark tonight. And how about the kickers who struggled so much early in the season? Last week were unbelievable, and into this week, perfect as well.
Finished last week. Incredible.
Masoli. 300 yards passing for Jeremiah Masoli. Tolliver again, another catch, but all for naught here tonight. Began with that first toss out of the locker room, really, and into the end zone. Pick 6 to C.J. Roberts. It's almost like the roof caved in on the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and they just never recovered. Haven't seen a first half like that in a long time.
What'll happen when you turn the ball over as many times as they did? More of the same against this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team, who's going to go 2-0 against the Cats this year.
How about 11 turnovers in 2 games, Matt?
It's just not
you can't almost comprehend that. You think, you look at tape, as a coach, you say we're going to focus, protect the football. We're not going to do that again, and it happens.
And I correct myself. Four turnovers in the first half, and then Ian Wild there, that's 5, and makes 11, and that's hard to overcome. I don't care who you are.
Almost again, Mo Leggett had a chance at that one.
Yeah, they're having fun now. It's just sealing the deal. Defense just pot hanging back there trying to get themselves another one. As Mazzoli, he's got to push the ball down the field, and they're just trying to take another one to the house.
How about credit a Winnipeg defense that came in last as well in the CFL.
Yeah, but tied for first in takeaways.
Takeaways.
More of the same there tonight.
So
now they take a commanding lead in that department with 20. Came into the night with 15 takeaways. Tied for first with Toronto.
Masoli got dusted by Trent Corney, and C.J. Gable hauling it in.
So that's a real positive you can build on there defensively, and it's been a strong point for this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team all season long, playing hard-nosed football, having the ability to take takeaways. Now, on the other hand, you look at Hamilton, they've got 1 interception on their defensive side of the unit. That's just not good enough.
You know what Winnipeg did tonight, though, which has killed them this season? They have given up big plays. Last in the CFL, giving up a lot of big plays, and they just didn't tonight. Of course, they had the football most of the first half. 1:20 to go here. So 3rd down now for Masoli. Again, spinning now, escapes, throws it, and they'll turn it over again, this time on downs. So make it an even 6-pack again. Back-to-back 6-packs and turnovers.
Yeah, from the penthouse to the outhouse. Jeremiah Mazzoli coming off a set CFL record in the second half and a major comeback victory, 25 points down a couple weeks ago against the Eskimos. Just not the night he was hoping for against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Had a stretch of 23 straight against the Eskimos, and tonight Masoli struggled to get consecutive completions. Nichols will stay in. They're going to chew up the clock here. Game well in hand. Blue Bomber team that is going to rise up to 3-4, and a Hamilton team that will fall to even Steven again, 3-3.
It's just an ordinary night, but he started out 17-19, 0 interceptions. He was extremely efficient in that first half when his team needed him to be to take advantage of those turnovers.
Key for Matt Nichols, again, 2 starts, no interceptions so far this season. Has not thrown a pick. Protect the football, good chance you're going to win.
You got good teams, you got good defense, just play competitive, opportunistic football offensively, and that's what we saw. I mean, he made some beautiful throws in the first half. Capitalized and do some darts in there, and that was impressive, and that's all his team needed.
Zach will be back next week for the Cats.
Can't wait to watch that kid play. He's special.
See what kind of rust he'll have to shake off. Tell you what a gamer he is, though.
Well, he can do it all. He's got touch. He can throw the long ball. He can move. He can create, extend plays.
And credit Jeremiah Masoli. You know, they gave the keys to the car to Masoli. He almost got them to the Grey Cup game.
Yeah.
And by the way, 3-3, not too shabby. Suddenly, you know, you give the keys back, you still got a shot.
Well, the pressure's squarely back on Zach Claris' shoulders, and all eyes will be on him as he takes over a team that really was embarrassed here tonight. And he's going to have a big performance against the BC Lions, a team that has got a solid defense and can light it up themselves.
What time is it? What time is it? I just want to know. It's almost 1 o'clock, and how about these Bombers fans come out tonight? 7:30 start. They hang in.
On a Wednesday or a Thursday morning.
It's 5.5 hours later. Standing ovation. It's been a long time coming. A home win since last September here at Investors Group Field. Since 2014, they've won consecutive games, and not too long ago, the Bluebirds were out in Winnipeg, and there was concern in the River City. And there was trouble. Not now, not tonight, not this morning. And on Milt Stegall night, you know what they're saying in Winnipeg? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a win. What a first half of football. Finally, the Bombers can celebrate. A win at home. An incredible first half display on Milt Stegall night. 34 in the first half. They hang on easily in the second and win this 37-11. They put Milt Stegall up on the Ring of Honor tonight. Tomorrow night we're back. Thursday night football, doubleheader. Bombers started early, was over at halftime. They're breathing easy in Winnipeg. Back-to-back wins, and finally home sweet home in the house that Milt built. Good night, everybody. Sports Center coming up right now.